They did. Thank you so much. Enjoy this day, this historic day here in Kansas City, and thanks for sharing a bit of it with us. And if anybody needs a TV analyst, Damon can do that because he knows his football.
Yeah, Damon Walker, reporting live, Channel 9.
You're going to take my job. He's going to take my job here. That's the situation from the deck of the Liberty Memorial right now. And again, as you just saw a moment ago, this expansive crowd and this panoramic shot beneath us here. And we expect this crowd to continue to grow and fill up everything behind us here as the Chief Nation and the Chiefs Kingdom comes out and celebrates the Super Bowl with a party that Kansas City will never forget. Back to you.
KMBC 9's Michael Mahoney. You know, it was interesting. We saw in his live shot kind of a wider view, certainly, of the Liberty Memorial. And certainly, at least here, right now, this is not the size of the crowd that we saw in 2015 for the Royals World Series parade. I don't think that's an indication on any level of a lack of enthusiasm or interest or satisfaction over the fact that the Chiefs just won a Super Bowl. I think it's just an illustration of the fact that it's 20 degrees and wind chills are in the teens, and there are probably a lot of parents with small children who were out on that day in 2015 when it was a much nicer day and maybe just don't want to put their kids through this kind of weather. I think it's an illustration of the weather, nothing more than that.
Or what it is, everybody's just smushed closer together because it's not a 70-degree day.
Well, and here is something else. You know, this is a parade that's going to be, the crowd is going to be controlled differently than the 2015 Royals World Series period, because as the parade wound down Grand to the south, there were a lot of people at the beginning of the parade route who then sort of started walking
with it,
toward where we are right now, Union Station, the Liberty Memorial. That's not going to be allowed this time around. So you're going to see a different size crowd here than we saw in 2015.
Yeah, absolutely.
The great news about it, we've seen a lot of pictures, some live pictures of the parade already getting going. Some of the first buses are starting to roll out and making their way down Grand. So this is terrific. The parades started a little bit earlier than we expected, and now they're starting to make their way down here.
Yeah, let's go to Cody and Donna.
And War Paint, you guys, can you see the second, can you see War Paint, the horse?
And here's War Paint, the horse over here, as we go over to the right.
War Paint, the horse. Right there.
You can see
okay, he's a little bit low for a shot.
Officially started here at 6 Grand at the start of the route. We just saw the cheerleaders and the Rumble drumline followed by War Paint. The parade is now started. All right. And you see all of the fans here just so excited to see this thing finally get underway after 50 years of waiting.
Well, and again, I don't know if you heard us before or not, because it's a little bit hard to hear you, all for good reason. They are singing a song that I think will resonate far, wide, and for a long time. There is Mayor Quentin Lucas, who is fighting for his right to party right now. And go ahead.
He's been a jet setter these past few days.
There's Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, of course, former Kansas City mayor as well. The congressman a little bit reserved in his partying, but partying nonetheless. Great to see.
That's right. And so we're going to see many of the elected officials start to make their way through. We see coming up some more Chiefs staffers, and we've got the Kansas City crews here as we're getting started. As we started the parade route, slowing down just a little bit. The fans get a little extra time.
Yeah, Jackson County Legislature there. Again, what a celebratory time, not just for the city of Kansas City, not just for the county, either of Jackson County. This is something that, in a time that arguably could be very divisive, has united so many of us.
Just the sense of just brotherly love here and sisterly love.
Absolutely.
Chiefs Kingdom really coming together for a moment that a lot of people were a little worried about, especially as we got into that fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, where it might not happen.
All right, you can see Kansas City, Missouri City Council members there popping it and locking it along the parade route. And up next, it looks like we should have, is that Governor Parson? I cannot see the governor, but I believe he may be on this float. Cody, can you
Still
tell?
getting through. No, I see him a couple of trucks back here.
Oh, okay. I'm ahead of myself.
Oh, yeah. No, I think they're a little out of order, but that's all right. And when you're all excited about Chiefs Kingdom, that's going to happen. And so we've got County Executive Frank White now coming up in the pickup truck.
There he is. Yep. There's the confetti there. We got some confetti
That's right.
coming.
And now we see the ticker tape starting to come down here on Grand Avenue as everybody is swinging around here. Here we go. Governor Mike Parson.
Of course, Governor Parson was at the game, as was Mayor Lucas and probably other lawmakers as well. But
that's right. And it's a big, Missouri is now a championship state with the St. Louis Blues. You got the Royals 5 years ago, and now this.
And that is something, just the Blues, that folks were talking about when we were in Miami, saying, wow, what's going on in Missouri? So.
And we know that we swing on over to the right over here. We've got ticker tape starting to fly here on Grand. We're going to move the camera over here. Nope. All right. We're a little limited here in the crowds. We got Chiefs business staff here. Of course, all the people that make the football team function the way they do behind the scenes.
Right, and that's something that, we don't necessarily think about, but these are folks who have, you want to talk about a tried and true, fan base, which we certainly have here in Kansas City, but these are folks who, their daily grind, if you will, don't know that they would call it that, but is to not only communicate what the Chiefs are doing with us on the field, off the field, in terms of their charitable work, their community relations. These are folks that work all year round. There's no football season for them.
That's right, and they know. I mean, what a great gig to have too, because you got to go to work and maybe shuffle some papers, but those papers are for Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, they are now.
Some fun here. All right.
And there we have Casey Wolf.
And the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus.
Mitch Holt.
Been huge and just so devoted to Chiefs Kingdom throughout the playoff run.
Absolutely, yes. And knew they could do it. And for him to be able to make the 2 calls that we've heard him make over the last 3 weeks, what an honor for not just Mitch, but for the Kansas City community. So the voice of the Chiefs getting to say something we have all for so long to hear, right?
That's right. And we see now the double-decker buses, the buses that came into town just to show off Chiefs Kingdom to the rest of the world and everybody who made this happen. Hello! Running some Queen, of course. We Are the Champions, which is a nice song to have.
Love it. World champions.
Feels nice to say after a half century, I would say. Coming up, we still have quite a few business staff because it takes a lot to make the Chiefs organization run behind the scenes.
Well, and this illustrates the point, just what we're seeing, because we talk about, Tyreek, we talk about Patrick, we talk about Travis, and I don't have to give you last names, right?
That's right.
But these are all the folks that we don't talk about because we don't know their names. We don't see what they do every day. But boy, I tell you what, without them and the sacrifices, you see some kids up there, the sacrifices that their families make, we wouldn't have the team that we have today.
A lot of weekends on the road.
Absolutely. A lot of folks, away from family, gone.
See some more business buses coming down the line here as Chiefs Kingdom cheers them on. World champions for the first time in 50 years, and they couldn't be more excited. Of course, their families are up there too. Look at the little guys. It really is amazing. And everyone here, some people have been here as early as 4 a.m. just wanting to be here at the start of the run.
Yeah, when we started First News this morning, we saw some folks already planted out. I know one lady had a heater, but out of all the folks that we saw, they were just bundled up. Maybe some hot chocolate or coffee, but staying warm with pure dedication, I think.
I even saw Casey Superman run by at about 4:30 this morning.
Yes, he did.
Said, I got to go down to Union Station. See you later, guys.
Yeah, and did you know he was in Miami?
Oh, really?
Maybe he ran up here from, well, I don't know. He's always running around.
All right, some more members of the Chiefs cheerleaders coming down the line here at 6th and Grand. Right underneath the huge World Champions flag that's waving here, hoisted up by 2 huge cranes.
Well, and earlier this morning, if you were watching First News, you saw that this was a banner that was hoisted up, and then it became a flag because of the wind. The bottom was actually attached. It's now, it became detached. It didn't take long for that, again, because of the gusts of wind. illustrates, you know, we have the snow out here, we have the cold, but you add that wind to it. It illustrates just how cold it is out here along the parade route. Again, we are at the start of the parade here at Grand and 6th Street.
It looks like there's a little bit of a pause in the action, but everybody...
Well, a pause in the parade, but can you hear? Yeah, not necessarily in the action, but for sure in the parade. Let's talk to some folks while we're waiting here.
Yeah, we got some serious Chiefs fans. Can we talk to you real quick? Hey!
Sure, how you doing?
All right, great. What's your name?
Byron.
All right, Byron, where are you from?
Originally from Guatemala. Live in Kansas City.
All right, so adopted Chiefs fan.
100% Chiefs fan.
How's it
Always,
feel
since
to
96.
How's it feel to see this year?
Man, it's so emotional that the first time when they won, I started crying. That's just me. It was just so fun. Unbelievable. It was just... I've been waiting since 96 for this.
Like the rest of Chiefs, can you have a few heart palpitations as you were watching the end of that game there?
Well, the end, it was just unbelievable. Of course, they were losing, I believe by, I don't remember how many points, but it was
let's just concentrate on the positive, Byron.
Yes. It's just so emotional, unbelievable to be here.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Have fun. You know, all of Chiefs Kingdom just having so much fun right now as we wait for the next floats to come down the parade route here at 6 and Grand.
And I believe that next float is holding cheerleaders, and we're going to see the Hunt family as well here.
That's right. And so just trying to get all the VIPs situated. Of course, they stage a few blocks north of here, trying to get everything up and running and down the way. Got to give a huge hats off to KCPD, who's been working on this.
Well, don't take your hat off. It's awfully cold. But in all, and Kansas City police have, and they'll be the first to tell you, the officers and sergeants we've talked to out here, they're not doing this alone. They actually have 19 departments helping them. So we have seen, we've seen the sheriff's office, we've seen Raytown Police, I believe. I know Independence Police are out here. Mounted Patrol. Yeah, so this is back to the fact that this is not Kansas City proper celebrating. This is our entire community. Okay, so...
See a golf cart coming by. And as we look out on this sea of red, we try to find the next float here. We see a couple of pickup trucks. We got some Chiefs down in the crowd. I think that's Tyron Matthew over there.
Is it?
Got the honey badger there with the Oakleys on, ready to go.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Crowd all riled up.
Okay, he's out of order, but I think everybody will take it. We weren't expecting him to see him for a little while, so this is awesome. The players getting out, getting with the fans.
And right over there.
Oh, Big Red!
The man of the hour in the big bus. Big Red. Head coach Andy Reid.
All right.
With this Super Bowl win, will likely be enshrined in Canton, Ohio, remembered at the Pro Football Hall of Fame whenever he retires, and we hope it's no time soon.
Oh no, yes. You did it. You know, and so many of the players that we've talked to, past and present, so many of the fans say they wanted to see that win in Miami for the guy you're seeing right there, Big Red, Coach Andy Reid, and they did it, he did it.
And now we see the trophy that everyone has been waiting for.
Okay, guys,
there
it's
it
home.
Is. The 2019 Lombardi Trophy for your Kansas City Chiefs.
World champions.
Oh, man.
50 years and it's home.
Just a beautiful moment, and we see Bobby Bell right there.
Where's
the
Bobby?
bus.
Bobby!
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 There
You got to ride the parade! You see Bobby, we talked to him when we were down in Miami, and when we were down in Miami, Bobby told the story about how after they won the first Super Bowl, he wasn't able to ride in the parade because he went to the Pro Bowl, okay, or at the time it was called the All-Star Game, and Bobby said, you know what, I thought I'll do it next year, He didn't get to do it. Bobby Bell, he will be 80 years old this summer. He's getting to ride in his ticker tape parade.
Just amazing to see. There's Steve Spagnola, the new defensive coordinator, his first year with the team here in the double-decker bus. Hey, Steve. There he is.
He did it too. Boy, he said, trust me. You know, the guy said that he came on, and I know Lynn Jennings talked about this the other day. He said, you've got to stay with me. You've got to trust me. I can do this and I can turn this around. And he did.
That's right. It is amazing. His second Super Bowl win, and he really brought that experience here to Kansas City. We love that. More players coming through now here at 6 and Grand. Fans cannot get enough of their Kansas City Chiefs.
And it looks like the players can't get enough either. So some of the pauses here, guys, are buses stopping, their players connecting. So sorry that you may not be able to see all of that from your end. There they are. Okay, you guys, this is amazing. And I don't know if you can see it, Vic, if you can get up those players. They are dancing. They are wearing goggles and throwing beer. Oh, wow.
And a lot of people wondered, would they be up in the double-decker buses, or might they be able to come down and hang out with the fans? And we
have our answer.
There's your confirmation.
How could they have all this energy left? You've got to ask.
Oh, my gosh. Let's go,
and the confetti, wow.
And here comes some of the confetti in between. So what they've done is they've organized by group. So you've got your linebackers, your defensive backs, your defensive line.
Your tight ends.
Soon get into the offensive side of play here. It is just amazing to see how electric it is right now in Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, they have the Oakley goggles on. No coincidence necessarily.
Frank Clark on that bus right there. Just an amazing asset for the Chiefs Kingdom. Waving fans. His first season with the Chiefs, found his footing later on in the season. 5 sacks this postseason. Got a key sack in the Super Bowl, which was the team's only sack, which is just amazing to see and really helped propel Chiefs to that level to win the Lombardi Trophy.
Apparently it is 5 o'clock somewhere, because we're seeing
it's 5 o'clock everywhere.
seeing a lot of celebratory drinks in hand.
We got offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, his second season OC. Been with the Chiefs a while, and we thought he would go away and be a head coach. He was so good and so powerful with this Chiefs offense. It just really got them clicking, got the offense gelling to see where we are today. It's just amazing.
Is that Tyreek?
There's the cheetah.
That's Tyreek. All right.
Hanging out in the bus.
Tyreek Hill.
All right. Everybody's so excited here.
You all can hear the fans. What I love about this is the players, their family members, they're taking pictures of their Chiefs family here on the ground, the fans, as the fans take pictures of them. What a payback, if you will.
That's right. Hey, look. Who's that at the end of that bus?
I know
That's
that
your
guy.
Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes.
and the guy who fought for his right to party.
Got Travis Kelce with him with that WWE Championship belt that Triple H sent express to get here in time for the parade. This is the moment Chiefs fans have been waiting for a half century.
Patrick's girlfriend, Brittany, behind him there on the float, or on the double-decker bus there. Of course, Brittany was on the field to celebrate that win with him. These are young people, 24 years old, our quarterback.
He is the youngest to ever win the league MVP and Super Bowl MVP, setting all kinds of records here, and we couldn't be happier. Chiefs cheerleaders holding up the line here. You saw on the bus with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce was Brett Veach, and you talk about young people. He's 41. He's the youngest general manager in the league.
Isn't that incredible?
And he was obsessed with Patrick Mahomes, so much so that he kept getting Andy Reid's attention and said, you got to look at this kid. You got to look at this kid. Finally pulled him into Kansas City, and that was the ingredient that we needed for success to win the Super Bowl.
What does that say about this organization's ability to not only pick and choose, but to believe and to grow the talent?
Right.
You know?
All right. Well, it looks like the parade, we're kind of near the end of it now. We're going to go out to Matt Evans and Karen Kornacki a little farther south.
All right. Hi, guys.
All right, we're picking it up over here at 12th and Grand, and you can see the parade coming towards us as they slowly roll down the street and head towards Union Station for the big pep rally. These fans have been waiting for hours, and you can just see people you don't even know who are working in the Chiefs organization, leading the chop. People you don't even know from the Chiefs organization who have just taken part in this party. I'll tell you, this is just a great showing here as we watch the cheerleaders start to come down the street, and there, of course, is War Paint. Gee, how many times did he have to run after a Pat Mahomes touchdown? Quite a bit. Horse has been pretty busy this year. Now the confetti going up in the air, and that marks the team is coming. We're supposed to see the linebackers first, and Pat last, and everybody else in between. But as you heard Donna and Cody talk about, they've been a little out of order. I think these guys are just so excited. You can tell the players just love. They're basking in the cheers and adoration of their fans.
And Karen, I'll tell you what, it's really great to talk to some of these young fans that are out here. There's a group of youngsters that are, 7, 8 years old, and you get to see 11. You get to see your first Super Bowl parade at that age. I mean, they're pretty lucky. John Paul, how do you feel about the Chiefs this year, my man?
I mean, I feel great that I've only seen, this is my first Super Bowl, and to be able to be here and at the parade is just amazing.
But it's my first Super Bowl, too, and it's pretty great, right? All right, what about you, Edward? How are you feeling about being here witnessing history?
It's really good. The people here are like random fans. They just come here to see Chiefs, and we are the Chiefs are the best. Go Chiefs.
Chiefs are world champions. You can say it. You can say it, world champ. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good to say it? Absolutely. And what do you think about the Chiefs parade coming through?
Speechless. I don't know what to say.
Speechless. You know what? That's a really good thing, is speechless, because sometimes when you witness something as special as this, sometimes you just don't know how to put it into words, because we've been waiting so long for it, Karen Kornacki.
Patrick Mahomes, go!
See, he's waiting for Patrick Mahomes. That's why they put him at the end of the parade, so that you'd watch the whole parade, because that's who everybody wants to see. The MVP of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl MVP, a talented young quarterback that has given this city a championship and probably many more to come. So get used to it, youngin', because this might be your first, but I can promise you it won't be your last.
That's pretty true. Now you're seeing Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas running down there. He's had a busy week. He was in Miami, now in Kansas City, and running down the parade route as well. So really some exciting stuff that's happening here as we see all these Chiefs fans lining Grand, and really something pretty special to see. Karen, I know that you've been covering the Chiefs for an awful long time, and this has got to be pretty nice to be able to witness this right here.
It is. It's something they talked about in training camp, winning a Super Bowl. And I kept thinking, okay, well, you know, I cover a lot of teams, and they don't usually like to talk about the end from the beginning. But this team had one goal in mind, and everything led up to that. The additions in the season, when Brett Veach brought in Terrell Suggs, I was like, okay, this team, they really, really, really want a Super Bowl. They're bringing in some big-time help here. And yet, this team, through injuries, through adversity, they just kept their mind on the goal, because they envisioned one day a scene just like this.
Well, this is their goal years moving forward as well. When you think about this team in next year, the next year, the next year as well, I mean, a lot of these people that are lining this parade route, they think this might not be the only parade for the next 50 years, and it certainly looks that way, that the Chiefs are contenders. They are an AFC West power that are here to stay, and they may be in the big game each and every year if we are so lucky.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Kansas City. Who's going to beat these Chiefs? There's not anybody out there right now that can beat these Chiefs.
The 49ers couldn't.
The 49ers couldn't. Nobody. This team right now, playing at their peak, won the biggest crown of all on the biggest stage of all, the Super Bowl. Nobody's going to beat this team, and the core of this team is staying together.
And it's amazing to see how many people in Chiefs Kingdom are coming out here as the snow continues to fall in downtown Kansas City. That is not a worry for anybody here, because this is a party, and this is is a time for Chiefs fans, young and old, to come together and celebrate this Super Bowl winning team.
Hey, you saw those games where there was snow and, practically blizzard conditions, and Chiefs fans stayed through till the end. They are loyal, and the weather doesn't seem to affect them or their quarterback.
Well, Karen, I can tell you, as a very young Chiefs fan, I sat through a lot of freezing cold games in the upper deck of Arrowhead Stadium, and this is nothing compared to some of those freezing cold games we've been to.
Well, I'm looking at here, look at this. This is so much fun to see the Chiefs organization just cheering from their float, their truck, their back van, if you want to call it. They're cheering because they just love this. They love the Chiefs crowd. They're taking pictures. They want to document this as much as every fan out there with their cell phone.
As the parade keeps coming down Grand Boulevard, you're seeing more and more excitement build in these Chiefs fans because they know that it won't be long until the players are here, and of course that Lombardi Trophy that we've all been waiting so long to see here in Kansas City comes down Grand Boulevard.
Now we're seeing the Hunt family. I see Clark and I see Tavia waving to the crowd. The fans getting a little louder because they're starting to recognize some of the different members of the Chiefs organization.
And you just kind of take it all in. You just kind of, and even if you're watching at home, taking it all in, this is something, a historic moment that we're seeing here in Kansas City that we are fortunate enough to be alive for.
I don't usually see Clark Hunt smile like that. Wow, that might be the biggest smile I've ever seen. He's just loving this, eating it up.
And now we're going to be getting to some of the player buses probably very soon.
You know what I love about Chiefs fans? I mean, they just can't get enough of their team. Oh, look, we've got James Winchester up there. James! Yep, that's the special teams unit. There's Justin Colquitt, James Winchester, your special teams unit right there. They can't even hear. I was yelling as loud as I could. They couldn't hear a thing. That's how loud this crowd is. You think you're being loud, but you're drowned out by every other person who's being loud out here. It's awesome. All right, the next bus, I see Steve Spagnola, the defensive coordinator. He's coming up on deck. In front of me, I see the coordinators, and they're looking out at the crowd. Everybody loves this parking garage where people are just hanging over the sides.
Well, that parking garage began to fill up very early this morning. Those are some great spots. If you're a few floors up, you've got a great view of these players and coaches that are on the upper deck of these buses that made their way to Kansas City.
Why wouldn't you give a cheer to Steve Spagnola? He's the man who revamped that defense that helped win a Super Bowl. So how awesome is that? And look, the victory cigars are out. Okay. And the crowd is yelling, how about those Chiefs? They're doing chants. We have kind of a combination of all kinds of songs and cheers out here. It's kind of fun. Everybody just doesn't know what to do because they're so excited to celebrate the team. Okay, now I'm seeing Tyreek on the ground. I'm seeing, let's see, who's with them over there. And they're high-fiving the fans. They're going up and down the parade route, high-fiving the fans. How cool is that? Yeah, this team loves them. You can see the town loves the team and the team loves the town. They don't want to be up there on the bus. They want to be out there touching hands. You bet they do. Yep. Look at that, a selfie. Okay, we're having some fun now. Now they're over here on our side. Oh, beer is flying everywhere. Yes, we have liquid flying everywhere.
There's a lot to celebrate, Karen, as you very well know.
How much fun is this? When the fans actually get to touch the hands of the players because they want to come down and be among the crowd. That's pretty special.
Well, I can tell you, we're pretty lucky to live in this span of time because we got the Royals World Series in 2015. We got the Chiefs Super Bowl now in 2020. Within 5 years, you get two parades just like this. That's never happened before.
You know what I'm looking forward to? When the Royals win a World Series, this young pitching staff comes up, and the Chiefs are still winning their Super Bowls. And we just have one championship year after another.
We'll just have one parade after another.
That's right. So we're going to get busy. We're going to have to expand the sports department.
we're going to have to expand our footprint on Grand, I think. We're going to have to build a Channel 9 building right here to capture all of this excitement on Grand Boulevard if we're going to have parade after parade.
And you can see the fans anxiously watching down who's next, who's coming down the street next, because right now they're out of our view. We're just watching everybody turn their heads down the street to see who's coming up next.
Well, we can tell you who we haven't seen.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is at the end. When you see Patrick coming down the street, you know most of the team is already at Union Station. They save the best for last.
Right, of course. And there might be, there's a few after that, some cheerleaders, I think. And
all right, let's look here on our monitor. The Honey Badger's coming down the street. Now, he's a fan favorite. He's an MVP for this team. You bet. The Honey Badger is walking down the street heading this way.
And I'll tell you what about Tyrann Mathieu that's so impressive, too, is that he is not only a leader on the football field, but he's a leader in this city. As soon as he got traded or got picked up by the Chiefs, well, it was one of those things that he met with then Mayor Sly James to talk about how he can help in the community. And that's amazing, even from a non-football fan, to be able to see how he wants to be involved in this community, asking how he can help out in the community. And that just shows what kind of a leader he is, both on and off the field.
Well, he's starting to come this way. You can hear the Chiefs fans as they start to come in front where we're posted. But you know what I love about Tyrann Mathieu? First of all, he's always available to the media. Second of all, he is so eloquent and he speaks so well. Third, from the moment he stepped foot in Kansas City, he became a leader on a team that desperately needed a leader, especially in that secondary. He helped those young guys believe they could play, they could do this, and Spagnola can't. Steve Spagnola, the defensive coordinator I'm referring to, he cannot pat him on the back enough for helping to execute the plan that the coaches came up with. Well, he truly was a coach on the field.
And he's such a fun player to watch, too, the way he flies around that field. He plays with so much energy every single snap, and that's really exciting to watch, too.
He's not the biggest guy out there,
he's not.
And yet he's taken down mountains and skyscrapers. It's truly amazing to watch him play. Okay, we're seeing them in our view now.
We're starting to see some more of the players kind of lying down through here on Grand Street, but for now we'll go a little bit further down the parade route to our Martin Augustine and Emily Holwick.
Yeah, Matt, we just saw Tyrann Mathieu walk past us here. It's so much fun to see those guys walking along the street and high-fiving everybody, just like you were saying, Matt and Karen. And one thing that Emily and I were talking about, because Emily got to spend a whole bunch of time in Miami this week, we sometimes football players are kind of anonymous. Unless they're the big star athlete, they have their helmets on all the time. You don't see their faces very much. But in this instance, we get to see their faces and see them smiling and reacting. That's a great deal of fun for me, and I know it's a great deal of fun for the fans. It's got to be a great deal of fun for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It is just, it's hard to find the words to describe. You can't imagine what the guys are feeling as they walk down these streets and they see all of these fans who have come out just to see them, to thank them for their performance and to celebrate them, celebrate their Super Bowl victory. It is truly, truly incredible. So we got another confetti truck coming here. There's going to be confetti in the streets of Kansas City for weeks and weeks and weeks.
They're going to be finding it at every nook and cranny for a long, long time.
Absolutely. But you hear the crowd getting loud and screaming, so it's just an
Who comes after the confetti here?
Yeah,
okay.
Who is that?
We're going to start seeing, from our vantage point, Clark Hunt, Andy Reid, Mark Donovan, the team president, and they're, just like the players, these guys are fan favorites too. I mean, what's not to like about Andy Reid? You know, certainly a football genius in the way he runs a team. But he has that wonderful everyman quality that you can sort of relate to him. A humble guy, obviously a guy with a real dry sense of humor, a real treat, I think, to be around.
Absolutely. Andy Reid is who you just have heard it over and over again from the players. They wanted to win this for Andy Reid because they have so much respect for him. You know, these guys are like a family. They're together sometimes more than with their regular families. But Andy Reid certainly has earned this honor. I know a lot of the fans also have said they just wanted to see Andy Reid win this. So to see him now in all his glory.
Yeah. There he is.
It's a beautiful sight.
Yeah, it is. It is a cool sight. Now, right next to him, you see Clark Hunt.
There he is.
And I wanted to, I certainly want to address him. He's having a fabulous time. Great big smile on his face, you know, and why wouldn't he? But you know, his father, Lamar Hunt, he's the guy that established the American Football League. He's the guy who named the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. Lamar, who was a part of that parade 50 years ago, and Clark's got to be thinking about him today and the impact that his father and his family has had on the game of football.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just indescribable. This is meaningful on so many levels to Clark and to his family. We have another bus coming here. I think we have some Hall of Famers who are supposed to be on the bus right behind them.
Take a look down here. Who all do we see? Oh, the hats are.
I know the hats.
Now I see Bobby Bell there with the the scarf on there, and I think Bobby's one of those guys that, well, he's always fun to visit with when you're at Chiefs Hall of Fame events. Has a great personal story coming up, growing up where he did and playing football as a young man through high school, college, and then coming to Kansas City and being an anchor of that team. And you got to know that those guys who played on that team 50 years ago, what did they want more than anything? For another group of guys to do it. They've been waiting a long time, too.
They certainly have been. And, you know, you just keep seeing all of these, Len Dawson saying that it was time. It's time for the next team. And seeing he and Patrick Mahomes interact is just so touching. And when you know that the kind of torch is being passed on, and we know that those guys are just as happy as anyone that the next group has come along to finally win this next Super Bowl for Kansas City.
Without a doubt. So we've had bus 27 come past us. Now we're going to come back to bus. Well, you know, a lot of these players have hopped off the bus.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell
around. It's a little hard
where
to tell where they're going to be. But the joy that you see there is remarkable. And the one thing I want to tell everybody about as we watch these guys roll down the street, right at the start of the parade, the national anthem was played. It was sung.
Yes.
And you know, they're right at the end. Everybody at the home of the Brave, and then everybody says the home of the Chiefs. Now you can argue whether or not you like that, you don't like that, but whether or not you like it, when this whole section of Kansas City shouted Chiefs at the top of your lungs, man, that was really something else. I mean, everybody was ready for this parade to get going and tear the roof off the place.
It was a really powerful moment. It felt like it was the whole city. I feel like it's reverberating throughout the country right now. It was just such a beautiful moment. Trying to see who else we can spot. I know a lot of people, like you said, jump down, and they've been walking around and running around saying hi to all the fans, which is cool to see these guys having such a good time here.
Again, it's that personal connection that everybody feels. You know, a football fan feels that, but to finally, you know, see them not, you know, with their game face on, not, you know, kind of giving the correct answer about the next game, you know, calmly, you know, we're going to take it one game at a time, that sort of thing.
Right.
But to really see them with that unabashed joy, the unabashed fun that they're having. All right, so we've got this gap now. You know, because I know that the back there is Travis Kelce,
yep.
Patrick Mahomes. Some of the big ticket items that people want to see, and we can't see them from here, so we don't know what sort of shenanigans are going on.
We can only guess. Travis Kelce, we know he has one of the biggest personalities in the NFL. We're sure he's not going to just sit on the bus and just go by.
I would doubt that very much. And I don't know that you know, I don't think Patrick could do that either. Those guys are the faces, two of the faces of the franchise right now, and I'm sure soaking up every bit of it.
All right, we're going to go back now to Karen and Matt Evans with their view. Karen and Matt.
Well, you're looking at Patrick Mahomes, who is up on top of the double bus. I think right now there's a flag in front of him, but there he is. He's coming up. He's asking for the crowd to go crazy, and you see your Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes, right there on top of the double-decker bus. Now, when they first came down the road, you didn't see Patrick, and then the bus stopped, and the crowd on the bus parted, and cheers went up like I've never heard before except at a Beatles concert, and Patrick Mahomes came off the bus and went into the porta potty. And then everyone waited breathlessly for him to come out. And once he came out, the cheers went up again. And he went on top of the bus, and you can see there he is now on the top, in the back. He is toasting this town for their support and loving every minute of it.
And even when he was on the ground, he went and did a few handshakes, ran down the line, greeting some of those fans on ground level. And boy, that's pretty exciting if you come out to see a Super Bowl parade and you get to shake the Super Bowl MVP's hand during it. So some folks found a good spot here in between 12th and 13th on Grand Boulevard to really get an up close and personal experience with Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, look how much he's loving this. He's turning to every corner. He is a showman, and he is turning to everyone's, just adoring them, holding his arms out, saying, yeah, come on, let's cheer. It's great. This is so fun to watch Patrick interact with this town, and look at the fans just love him. He raises his hand and the noise goes up. It's pretty fun, the amazing effect he has on his fans.
Yeah, it's pretty great to see.
Now he's starting the chop.
It was pretty great to see all those players on the ground level too, kind of hanging out with some of the fans. We saw Tyrann Mathieu, some of the other players as well. Nice to see them kind of get off the bus a couple of times and hang out with some of their fans. And now as we see the parade continue down Grand Boulevard here with Patrick Mahomes leading Chiefs fans in a tomahawk chop as we continue with this Super Bowl victory parade right here on Channel 9.
And those around him, yeah, they're resigned to the fact that everybody's just loving on Patrick. It's kind of like Patrick Mahomes and everybody else. So it's too much fun.
It's not that the way if you ask Patrick.
No, it isn't. And that's what we love about him, his humbleness and the fact he knows it's a team game. And when they're all on the same page, that's when they have success, because he's got to throw to somebody. Somebody's got to block for him, and he's got to have a defense that can get the other team off the field. So he is well aware that he can't do it alone. But this town just sure loves this leader, this young leader, Patrick Mahomes.
And like you mentioned, young leader, it means he's going to be around for many more years and probably many more Super Bowls, Karen.
I sure hope so.
And we're seeing the end of the parade here at 13th and Grand. And we'll go ahead and send it back down to Emily and Martin a little bit further down the parade route.
Patrick is what?
Well, yeah, so we're seeing these guys coming our way, and it sure looks like the party is getting bigger right now. The party is going to get a little wilder here as we watch everybody kind of slowly make their way down here and get right up close. Oh, there was a selfie being taken down there too. Man, that's going to be a winner no matter what. The whole order of things, you know, the players on the bus, my gosh, that's been scrambled in a really fun way.
Yeah, I love seeing these players just soaking it up. They're dancing around. They're taking their own videos and selfies. They're going to high-fiving the fans, taking pictures with the fans. You can hear the crowd just get louder and louder. This is just absolute amazing craziness. They are loving it right now.
They're soaking up energy from the fans, and they always talk about that. But, man, the fans are soaking up energy from these guys. Oh, my goodness. Look at him go down there.
Just yelling, smiling, bigger than we've ever seen. More selfies. You got to take all the selfies
Oh, yeah,
today.
the social media feeds today are going to be awesome with all sorts of spectacular photos.
There, I see Frank Clark there with the blanket on.
Oh, yeah, there he is right there, yeah.
Frank Clark, right? Oh, my gosh, you can just hear the crowd getting so much louder as they all walk by. And they're amping him up as well. I just love how so many of the players, especially, Mahomes and Kelsey, some of the team leaders have said this is all about the kingdom. It's all for Chiefs kingdom. They continue to reiterate that. I love it because they're out there working so hard every day to get to this point, still be playing at that high level, but they just give credit to the fans for being there for them and for supporting them and for continuing on.
Well, think about the fun for those guys. They always, they'll talk about the fans and they'll say, the Chiefs fans are the greatest fans of the world, and they are. But now to really be able to thank thousands of them, face to face, boy, that is really, really cool.
Yeah. An opportunity they do not often get, to have all the Chiefs fans in one place at one time.
Right, exactly right.
From all over. Oh, we've got some autographs going on here too along the route.
Oh, yes, we do. No chance of that. And here comes. I think the Lombardi Trophy may have come off the bus. You can't quite see what's going on behind those two buses that have stopped. Yeah. But something's got to, and there it is.
There's the trophy. There is the Lombardi Trophy. Every fan wants to touch that.
Oh, they want to touch that, get a picture of that.
Yeah.
And who's got that there? Oh my gosh. And you think about the McCole Hardman holding on to that, and he and Tyreek Hill, part of what people have called, there've been groups of football players called the Legion of Boom, who hit really hard. Mm-hmm. Well, these guys are kind of the Legion of Zoom, was what they got crowned with over the course of the season. They are so fast. And there they are, kind of quickly going side to side, holding up for everybody to see, not going too fast, so we all get a good look at it.
Yeah, you have to give everyone a chance to soak it in, lay eyes on it. It was so much fun, actually, when I was in the locker room after the Super Bowl, after they won, and they had the trophy, and there it is, lifting it on top of the bus for everyone to see. All the players were taking pictures with it, of course, kissing it, as is customary. Yeah. And it was just a kind of atmosphere that you can't even describe, but it's amazing to see it here on this much larger scale in front of all of Kansas City, that they all get to join in the celebration now, all of Chiefs Kingdom.
And hoisting that trophy, that's when you have that, you've sort of reached a pinnacle that a lot of football players never will. It's what they all dream for from the time they're playing Pop Warner football growing up. And to finally have that moment, you can understand the emotion that they feel. Not just because of the fans are here and all this great, fantastic, loud, noisy parade, but to do something that very few athletes ever get a chance to do is celebrate that world championship.
And the Kansas City Chiefs certainly have earned it 50 years later, so they're going to soak this up as long as they can.
Yeah, they sure are.
They have stopped the buses. There it is again. Catch it shining, sparkling.
Lift it up and everybody's going to cheer. There we go.
It's heading our way.
Yeah, let's just watch that for a little while. My gosh, don't drop that.
Oh, please
Whatever
be careful.
You do.
Hold on tight.
Picking up a little bit of speed. Another gap here.
Yeah. There's another very full double-decker bus headed our way. And I know that their order got a little bit mixed, so we're not sure.
So I'm told that's Eric Fisher right there in front of that bus. And what a moment for him, as it is for all the players. But, Eric Fisher was a #1 draft pick a few years ago. And he's caught a lot of praise and criticism over the years, but he's kept at it. He's battled through injuries. He's honed his craft. Now he's one of the top offensive lineman in the National Football League, and today an NFL world champion.
Yeah, getting that crowd hyped up again as they roll through. And the fans are loving it.
Man, you're the king of the world in the front of that bus.
Absolutely.
Everybody sees you coming.
Oh boy, we're spraying the crowd here.
We're spraying the champagne. That's, what does Mitch Holtis talk about, the sweet nectar? There's a little bit of that sweet nectar right there.
We have some more cheerleaders coming up, kind of bringing up the rear here with the cheerleaders and the flag bearers, closing it out with the police escort.
And the Chiefs rumble.
And some rumble. Rumble, nothing gets you fired up like the rumble,
Like the
whether
rumble.
you're at a rally or a game day or whatever. And the rumble was at the Super Bowl as well, of course, getting everyone fired up in Miami, too. So they're back in Kansas City.
There we go. And this half of the rumble kind of representing the back end of this parade. All right, so we've had a great look at the heart of this parade. So let's go further downstream with Kelly and Brian.
That one of those
Smaller
crowd?
bus, yeah. Yeah. That's right. Sorry, hold on. I'm okay. All right, so now we've seen the back end of the parade here. We watched the meat of this parade go by, and people for several more blocks are going to be entertained by the very same things that we were entertained by. Those players high-fiving everybody, the champagne being sprayed, the Lombardi Trophy being hoisted for their benefit. And of course, now we're headed off to that eventually to get down to that big rally there at Union Station. What we kind of see here on the back end of the parade is now some people are starting to get out of here. They've seen what they've come to see. I don't know how many of these folks are going to try to meander a ways down to that. All right, so they're telling me that Pat Mahomes has arrived at Union Station. So he's going to be one of the stars down there. You got to believe that he's going to be a major part of the show down there, a main character in that fun. And we always, I guess I kind of wonder, I can remember back in. Well, let's get back there to Chris and Laura and Len. And I have to ask you guys, I wonder who's going to be the Johnny Gomes of this rally. Who's going to have the outrageous speech? I can think of a couple of people.
Travis Kelce.
I think that's going to be Travis Kelce.
Mark, I think we're unanimous. I think it might be, if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Travis Kelce. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
He said he's got to beat his brother's speech.
Right, from the Eagles a couple of years ago.
Of course, his brother Jason Kelce, who won with the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl a couple seasons ago. So his brother already has a championship ring, and now Travis has a championship ring.
All right, just watching the parade along with everybody else. I don't know who's having more fun. I don't know if it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm not sure if it's Andy Reid. It might be Tyreek Hill. It might be Mayor Quentin Lucas. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
That's a really tight race right now as to who's having the most fun today.
It could be the 100,000 or so people who are standing right next to us. They have been partying and celebrating at some of the first buses have already arrived here at Union Station. A few more are making their way here, but one of those initial buses, when they arrived at Union Station, this crowd just absolutely erupted. So they know that the buses are coming around the corner and that the party's going to continue here at Union Station.
Well, and one of the coolest things is watching Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Tyrann Mathieu get off the bus and shake hands to these people who had just been waiting and dying for that chance to touch them, and then that's been really cool. Then someone said get back on the bus, because then they were told, obviously someone's like, get back on the bus right now.
They're having too good of a time. There was a little bit of a lull because some of the buses arrived, and now more are starting to come in. A little bit off in the distance here. Head coach Andy Reid seems to be pulling in with the Hunt family and the Lombardi Trophy. What you're looking at your screen right now is the bus with, I believe Patrick Mahomes is on that bus on Grand as it's making its way to Union Station. But these guys are just having a blast. Celebrating with the Lombardi Trophy on Grand. It's just amazing to see what these guys are doing on this day. And then you see the tomahawk chop from some of the players. Head coach Andy Reid was doing it earlier, so he's enjoying himself as well.
Well, what is really, you talked about Andy Reid, and I think the conventional wisdom has always been Andy Reid is probably a first or second ballot Hall of Famer before Super Bowl 54. But now that he has a Super Bowl championship to his resume, he's a lock now.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Of course, he's 6th on the all-time win list among NFL coaches, and the 5 guys ahead of him have a world championship.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so now he's in the
club.
Group.
Yeah.
The only other active coach ahead of him is Bill Belichick. But, so he's in that group, and there was always kind of the debate. Is he a Hall of Fame coach? He got a lot of slack for time management skills and couldn't win the big game. Well, after this victory, I agree with you, Chris Ketz. He's in the Hall of Fame.
All of that goes away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all of that's been answered. Yep.
All of the doubting has certainly been put to rest after that showing on Sunday. What has been wonderful is to hear Andy Reid interviewed since Sunday, and he said point blank, I'm getting ready for next season already. He said, I enjoyed it for one night. I had a double cheeseburger with double cheese, and he talked, spent time with his wife, who he affectionately calls his girlfriend.
Yep.
And now he's back at it.
Yeah, and he came back into Kansas City. We saw the video. He went to Q39 for a little bit of barbecue. Came out and said, all the fans, and met the fans there, so they were super excited. And for the record, head coach Andy Reid said he hasn't been to a barbecue restaurant in Kansas City that he doesn't like. He loves all the barbecue here, but
I agree.
Absolutely, 100%. But he was out there enjoying, and then he said he was back the next morning, already preparing for the next season, making sure that the guys have their off-season duties together, and then also looking at, he hadn't had a chance to look at the film yet, but he was already having team meetings and already looking forward to next year.
Well, and I think another thing that Andy said right after the Super Bowl win in the locker room was the fact that it's the way the sport goes. The faces that you see today is one of the last time you'll see all these faces together. Some of them will leave, they'll go to other teams, some may retire. This totality, this group of players will never be quite the same again.
Absolutely.
There is something about, and it's not just the National Football League, I think it's professional sports. When if you're lucky enough and good enough to win a championship, there's obviously a lot of luck involved. There's obviously a lot of planning involved, and there's obviously, and the Chiefs are as much of an illustration of this as anybody. They caught lightning in a bottle. They peaked at just the right time on a lot of different levels. And as soon as I got home from Miami, I went back and watched the game. And I'm telling you, the last 6-7 minutes of that fourth quarter, where they scored 3 times to put this thing away, I mean, I couldn't believe it at the time. And watching it again, I'm still shocked at how that all came to be.
It's the team that never, ever gave up until the bitter end. And in some ways, it seemed like the 49ers thought they had it wrapped up. And boy, don't ever think that the Chiefs are done before the buzzer rings.
Well, if you recall 2014 and 2015 for the Royals, 2014, the Royals swept themselves all the way into the World Series, almost making it look easy, getting to the World Series and then losing to the San Francisco Giants. And this kind of last year, NFL MVP, I mean, no one could stop the Chiefs offense last year until the AFC Championship.
Let's go to Kelly and Brian right now.
It was deafening as the Lombardi Trophy just went by, and you could just hear the crowd go crazy, and you could probably now hear the echoes as it's a little farther down 22nd Street and Grand here. So the parade is just now going, and people have not lost their enthusiasm. The only thing they lost, Kelly, their voices.
Oh, that's kind of what happened. The crowd around us just kept getting larger and larger, and suddenly we were just kind of in the middle of everything. So every once in a while, we can't hear a thing either. But we said, too, that someone's been selling those plastic horns just right where we're standing. So there's a lot of those around to drown out all the voices even. So.
And here's a freight train that's going underneath. So, yeah, a lot of horns, a lot of noises. And the thing is, as we talked about, the crowd is continuing to swell. So when we were in the front row, now we're like in the 13th or 14th. And only if they're on double-decker buses can we see who is out there. Exactly. And only getting a hint from people yelling who can see, like, oh, there's Travis.
And safe or not, we are surrounded by folks who have climbed trees and are watching from there. And that, again, is probably because they're a little bit like us, kind of sandwiched in the crowd trying to see. But we definitely saw that Lombardi Trophy.
And, you know, people have been here for a long time, and people have been saying from when it looked like in Houston, we did it. Then we went to Tennessee, and we did it. And then we ended up at the big one. And lo and behold, these fans have never lost their enthusiasm and never lost heart. And, of course, now they're just waiting for the man himself, which, of course, will be very close. And maybe he's off the bus, and we can't even see that.
It's hard to tell, but I do know we talked a lot about there would be a lot of families here, a lot of kids here, and that's exactly right. And you can also, as soon as the parade reached our spot along the route, you saw all the children go up on top of folks' shoulders, and that's happening again now. So we're assuming that Patrick Mahomes is getting close.
And I'm assuming also as people are putting their cameras up to take pictures over the crowd, and now that the cheers are coming, he's got to be getting close. He has to be getting close.
And we're just under the Western Auto sign, just in that last turn before Union Station. So a lot of the parade has gone by us already.
And nobody's really been swayed by the weather. Very few complaints about how cold it is. But again, these are hardy Chiefs fans. They're used to this kind of tailgating, but this has such special purpose that it is a Super Bowl victory 50 years in the making here in Kansas City.
And we all heard the request, wear red, wear red. We want that fabulous photo around Union Station, and you can tell a lot of folks did a lot of layering, but a lot of them made sure that that top layer was red.
And as I was talking back to the folks at Union Station, I know that the crowd is continuing to move down toward them, and I think Chris was talking earlier that there were some splotches where it wasn't really necessarily going through, but now it looks like things are starting to fill in with the crowd down there.
Yeah, and we have had little bursts of snow since I'm standing next to our meteorologist, but right now everything's clear.
For the most part, just a light snow, but otherwise I think they're just waiting for the back edge of the parade to be here, but it's still about to make that grand turn close to Union Station. Right now, we're still seeing some of the crowd moving toward us and then heading down, because as mentioned, we've already seen the Lombardi Trophy, already seen some of the players who got off the bus, which made it very difficult for us to see exactly where they were. But as far as, oh, wait a minute. Crowd's picking up once again, so somebody's going to be coming down this way.
Another reason this has been a popular spot where the crowd has swelled is we have some food trucks here.
True.
At
so that's
22nd and Grand, so that's helped bring some folks over here.
And I also think that everybody has gone from the north side and just followed the parade down. Maybe you didn't get a good shot of their favorite person.
Right, wanting to get a second glimpse.
But the trouble is that people are already here. So it was a good idea. It turned out to be, well, a crowd pleaser, but not necessarily success for them to get that shot that they were hoping
And we're
for.
starting to see some chanting up at the front of the crowd up there. So I'm thinking, too, they're seeing what's coming next.
Right now, Michael Mahoney has a better vantage point. Michael, let me throw it to you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Once again, we are on the deck of the Liberty Memorial, and what you are seeing is the thousands of people that are crowded on the hill beneath the iconic Liberty Memorial statue, and in between that and the stage down at the base of Union Station. And this has been growing. The fact that you see some open ground down there is very misleading. This is probably several acres of people. There are thousands of folks down here, and then there are many, many other folks that are up on the deck here of the Liberty Memorial that have this killer view that you're looking at right now. And the most asked questions clearly up here are, how about those Chiefs? What a party, and does anybody remember where I parked? And we hear that all the time. One of the occupations up here is everybody taking everybody taking off of their selfie pictures on the wall up here, and then we've got some wonderful crowd control people up here that are moving the crowd along. This is a very, very good vantage point, but it's also sort of press row. This is a look at the deck. We have people moving around up here. There are still people approaching the Liberty Memorial deck. There's some viewing here, but there's not an awful lot right now. And here we are going back to another look of this huge crowd underneath us here. Got to say that up here, this has been a very, very friendly crowd. No real incidents. The park police up here have been pretty vigorous about making sure nobody sits on the rail, including myself. And but the crowd's in good humor up here. I mean, it's a party. They're celebrating the Super Bowl and one of the great days in Kansas City sports history, and so the crowd's reflecting that. It's been a very friendly crowd up here. The people handlers have been just marvelous, and everybody has been friendly and very cooperative. And like I say, almost everybody is snapping a selfie or trying to get up here and get a shot of what you're looking at right now. This huge throng of people down here. And what was real interesting is the reaction of the crowd from some of these marvelous shots that we've been showing you of the parade. Every time Mahomes or Reed or anybody that was recognizable to this crowd that are watching on large screen TVs here on the hill beneath the Liberty Memorial and in front of Union Station, they will let out a cheer when they see the players shaking hands or connecting with the thousands of people along that route. And it's as if the people that are here waiting for this rally are also, like a lot of you folks at home, watching it on TV and reacting accordingly. So it has been a big party here, and a lot of what the thousands of folks that are here on the hill in front of Union Station are seeing are the same pictures that you're seeing at home of this parade and how the buses are now arrived and staging in the area on Pershing and Main, so that the players go in on the east side of Union Station, and then this rally will start approximately 1:30, and it's just been a great crowd here all the way around. A lot of people are here, and just because it's my business, walking by me right now is a guy with a "I Like Mike Bloomberg" t-shirt on, and he's signing up names for people to either get Bloomberg on the Missouri ballot or some sort of current events initiative right now. So we've got an eclectic crowd out here, to say the least, up here on the deck of the Liberty Memorial, overlooking this giant crowd on the hill beneath me, waiting for the rally. Brian Busby has been here and doing marvelous coverage. Buzz, what do you think of this, huh? Yep. Something else.
Michael, you know, we've done American Royal, we've done St. Patrick's Day, we've done the Royals. this takes the cake. It is amazing how many people are still out here, how many people are still cheering on, and amazed to see how the crowd continues to grow. But they're not leaving. If anything, they're in for the long haul. And I think there was that big crowd pleaser, Kelly, we just saw, which I think was close to had to be the man of the hour.
Yeah, you know, people are waiting to see Patrick Mahomes, and a lot of them are making their way now closer to Union Station. I'm standing here with Gabriel. I'm guessing I know what the highlight of this parade was for you.
Yeah, what do you think it was? No.
I just heard the roar.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see Mahomes and that Lombardi Trophy and stuff, so that's pretty cool to see.
How far
And
did you
you've been
travel?
standing here a long time with us, too.
Yeah, we've been here since like 8 or 8:30, something like that. Pretty cold, but...
How far did you have to travel to get here?
We came from up in the Northland, so it wasn't too bad.
Not too far. Okay, well, that's cool. But is this your first victory parade of any sort?
Yeah, I missed the Royals one, and I said I can't miss this one, so I had to come down for it.
You plan on staying for the rally too, right?
Yeah, hope so. Hope we can get down there for it, get a good spot.
Sounds good.
And the cold didn't keep you away.
Couldn't keep me away.
Now, I'm not a reporter necessarily like you are, Kelly, but I see a lot of people walking, and so I'm assuming that it's over, and the man was there, although we couldn't see him because we're in like the 15th row.
Yes, but we heard the roar, and we know a lot of these folks are making their way closer to Union Station right now because that's where the big show is going to be.
Right.
So, yeah, we had some big lulls here in the parade in between, but everybody was very patient and just waiting.
And maybe that's partially because I think Karen mentioned it and Matt Evans mentioned it, that they were getting off the buses and shaking hands and getting into the crowd, and maybe that took a long time to get them back on the bus and start the parade going, so that by the time it got to our street at 22nd, there was this big lull.
Yes, and I think we knew that they were, and that was why we were kind of trying to fight our way up to the front of the crowd too, because we thought maybe we'd get to see them
firsthand.
One-on-one firsthand too, but it was a little tough because folks were anxious and not going to give up their spot, which I don't blame them.
Yeah, but everybody's been cordial, very friendly. I mean, it's amazing how nice this crowd has gotten along, and I think, you know, we've seen a lot of jerseys that people have been wearing, Kelly, but I think the number one on the back, 15.
Yeah, and especially, I have to say, with the youngsters, so many of the youngsters, and we actually at one point saw, 7 or 8 Mahomes standing in a row.
One with knitted hair.
Yes, exactly. We saw a couple of those. People were very creative, and you could tell folks wanted to be a part of that sea of red, which we understand there will hopefully be another historic picture like that for us. We've waited a long time for it.
This is true.
Yeah.
Now I think that the red tide is going down closer to Union Station, which of course where Chris and Laura and Lynn are, among others. So I think it's just now getting going, and now everybody's just ready to mosey down and take place to be another historic part of this wonderful event.
I know. We know what that stage show was like with the Royals, so I know people are expecting just as much from the Chiefs.
Thanks for having me. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks. Okay. This now is continuing. The Lombardi Trophy is arriving now at Union Station, so you know that's a sign that they're getting things organized on stage. We're going to see the stars. Obviously, everybody's going to have an opportunity to talk and address the crowd.
Right, and when the Lombardi Trophy passed by, we saw a lot of folks running. They were passing it around, so people weren't able to get a great shot of it right away, but people were really maneuvering, trying to get a shot of that. So we know that was one thing that they were definitely waiting to see.
Let's throw to Laura and Chris and Lynn, who are there, and I don't know if Travis is going to drink out of it this time.
All right, the parade beginning to wind down a little bit as we see some of the last trailers pulling into Union Station off of Grand on Pershing Road right now, in front of the Westin Hotel, the Westin Crown Center, and of course I think once the last bus with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce on board.
Oh, we'll hear it.
Oh, will we?
We will hear it. Yeah, you're gonna hear this real soon here, where they're gonna go crazy.
I think that's their bus that pulled up
You're right.
Right over here with the Lombardi luge from Travis Kelce. These are the last couple of buses kind of coming in here, and that's the end of the parade. So I think the Mahomes bus and the Kelce bus has arrived. They have some screens up here. We can see some of the guys getting off the bus and making their way inside Union Station, and the crowd, of course, excited. They've been excited since 7 a.m. since we got here this morning.
Or maybe even 3 a.m. I think they've been excited since Sunday night.
What'll be interesting to see is here we are at about 12:45 on this Wednesday afternoon. Now, the rally was originally scheduled to begin at 1:30 this afternoon. I wonder if, in light of the conditions, in light of the size of this crowd, if there's a possibility, at least, that they might try to begin this rally a little bit earlier.
Because honestly, the parade route, it actually went quite quickly, even with players getting off the bus, shaking hands, giving high fives. And I think you're right, Chris. I don't think that they're going to be in Union Station for 45 minutes.
There's a grouping area behind me in front of the stage that was empty for a while, and it started filling up with all the people who are coming off the buses, the staff members, the Hunt family. You have some of the people coming. So that's all filled up in the front. We've noticed as the players were getting off the bus, they were going inside Union Station.
Yes.
So I'm sure there's probably going to be a celebration starting here soon on the stage. We're starting to hear some announcements.
We gotta keep the party going. Come on!
There are just, I mean, it's shoulder to shoulder waiting as these buses have now parked and the players are starting to get assembled, get off the bus, get into Union Station, and then onto that main stage in front of Union Station.
A lot of people have waited a long time for a moment like this, and it's about to happen as this crowd is as nuts as they've been all morning and early afternoon long. It's about to go up a notch or two when people like Tyrann Mathieu and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the rest of the Chiefs finally take the stage to really let Kansas City be a part of this Super Bowl championship.
And we do understand the people who are going to be speaking to the crowd are pretty much the guys you mentioned. Tyrann Mathieu, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. Of course, head coach Andy Reid will have a few announcements to make, as well as Clark Hunt and also President Mark Donovan. So, we were talking earlier about who's going to be the Gomes, who's going to take the flag like they did in the rally, the Royals rally. And we're looking at some video and some of the screens here. Patrick Mahomes and some of the guys are actually making their way inside Union Station just to the east of Union Station, so they're making their way inside the building. There's a big stage set up that we have on our screen there. You can see right now you're looking at some live pictures of the area where most of the family members as well as some of the Chiefs staff are gathering in front of the stage.
Okay, we are going to take a quick break while the Chiefs players get a
Championship Parade, brought to you in part by Hy-Vee, a helpful smile in every aisle.
Well, that's not very nice. But thanks to Remote Smart Parking Assist, it's no problem for the all-new Hyundai Sonata. It can pull itself in and out of tight parking spots without you being in the car. The all-new Sonata. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Drive home in a new 2020 Hyundai Sonata, now starting at just $23,400. Visit your local Kansas City Hyundai dealer today.
Well, today is the day, Chiefs Kingdom. This is it. We are celebrating a Super Bowl win. The Chiefs players are inside Union Station as we await for this rally to begin.
They're in full chop mode in front of Union Station right now. The players, the coaches, the staff, everybody who was in the parade now inside Union Station. The rally originally set for 1:30. You have a feeling that they're probably going to start it a little bit early. Not a bad idea considering the weather, though we've yet to hear of any problems of people who have had issues with the weather. People have had issues falling out of trees. That's a whole other.
That's been a problem.
That's a whole other issue.
And there's people still in the trees. But anyway, let's reflect on a fantastic season.
You know, it's been 50 years in the making to get to this parade, but when you think about it, the beginning of the season, the Chiefs were the Super Bowl favorites at that time, but kind of an up and down season. So we take a look back from day one and how we got here until today.
The Chiefs open the season on the road at Jacksonville. The Chiefs lose Tyreek Hill early to injury, but Sammy Watkins has a career day, scoring 3 touchdowns. The NFL MVP, Patrick Mahomes, had 3 touchdown passes for 378 yards. The Chiefs then travel to Oakland for its first AFC West showdown. The Chiefs trailed early in this game, sound familiar, before scoring 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. 4 more TD passes for Mahomes. The Chiefs' home opener would be against the eventual #1 seed in the AFC with the eventual NFL MVP, the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. But Mahomes showed he wasn't willing to give up the crown quite yet, throwing for 3 more scores to beat Baltimore by a field goal. The undefeated Chiefs were back on the road again in Detroit. Bashaud Breeland had a 100-yard fumble return for a touchdown. The Chiefs needed a Darrell Williams touchdown with just 20 seconds to go in the game to beat the Lions. The Chiefs returned to Arrowhead, unblemished at 4-0, looking unbeatable. The Colts proved everyone else otherwise. The Chiefs' offense was cold. Mahomes aggravated an ankle injury. The Colts go on to hand the Chiefs his first loss of the season. At home against Houston the following week, Mahomes gets his #1 target back, Tyreek Hill. Hill had a day, a good day, scoring 2 touchdowns in the game. It wasn't enough to overcome Deshaun Watson and the Texans. The Chiefs lose back-to-back games at home. The Chiefs were able to right the ship on the road at Denver, a victory that didn't come without consequence. Chiefs Kingdom held its collective breath as they see Patrick Mahomes injured on the ground. A kneecap issue popped back into place. Super Bowl hopes seemed dashed. The Chiefs return home the following week. The Packers come to Arrowhead. Backup quarterback Matt Moore had a great effort throwing 2 touchdown passes, not enough to avoid his 3rd straight loss at home. The slide at Arrowhead stopped the following week when the Vikings came to town. But the Chiefs squeaked out a victory as Harrison Butker kicks a game-winning field goal with no time on the clock. Mahomes returns the following week as the Chiefs travel to Nashville. A hot start for Mahomes, who threw 3 touchdown passes in the game, but the Chiefs got a glimpse of what they will see in the playoffs. Derrick Henry rushed for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Titans defeat the Chiefs. Kansas City drops to 6-4. The Chiefs would not lose again. In a different country, the Chiefs take on the Chargers in Mexico City. Tables turn for a Chiefs defense that had been stagnant, picking off Phillip Rivers 4 times, including an interception in the final moments to secure a win, leading the Chiefs to victory. A bye week allows the Chiefs to heal. Mahomes shows his ankle looks fine with a 13-yard score. The Chiefs beat the Raiders to grab a strong hold of the AFC West. Kansas City goes where not many teams come out with a victory. The Chiefs build a big lead over the Patriots, the victory that would prove pivotal in the playoff standings. The Chiefs dominate the 3 remaining games, beating the Broncos at home, the Bears in Chicago, and closing out with a victory over the Chargers at Arrowhead. The Chiefs would ultimately claim the number 2 seed in the AFC for the playoffs. All looked hopeless in the opening game against Houston, trailing by 24 points early in the second quarter. Patrick Mahomes puts on a show to grab the lead before halftime, 5 touchdown passes as the Chiefs advance to the AFC Championship game. Once again, the Chiefs spot their opponent a lead, down 10-0 to the Titans. The Chiefs claw their way back to take the lead in the third quarter and never look back. They avenge their loss to Tennessee and advance to its first Super Bowl in 50 years. The comeback follows suit in the big game. The Chiefs trailed 20-10 going into the fourth quarter. Mahomes stole the show as the eventual Super Bowl MVP, willed the team to victory as the defense shut down a potent 49er offense. The Chiefs hoist the Lombardi Trophy, winning its second Super Bowl in 50 years after winning its first.
They hadn't lost a game since the week before when they lost to Tennessee. 9 straight? Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, no dislocated kneecap anymore. That is for sure.
Ankle injury, a hobble with an ankle injury. I mean, so many things that the Chiefs kind of went through this season. Tyreek Hill was injured.
Right.
So many things. They brought in
Eric Fisher was hurt.
That's right. Yeah. So,
yeah, they're not hurt anymore.
No, they're feeling pretty good. Actually, that's what head coach Andy Reid said yesterday in his press conference when he came out. No injuries to report.
Well, and you know, my son, who's, a 22-year-old Chiefs fan, and he's like, I just can't believe we have to wait so long before the next season begins. I think a lot of Chiefs fans feel that way.
All right, much more of this parade coming right up. Keep it right here.
When I was diagnosed with cancer, I didn't want to go inside the house. I didn't know how to tell my family. It was really hard. Do I give in or do I fight this? I was ready to fight. My treatment's done, this course is run, and I'm on my way. All right. After my cancer treatment was over at Advent Health, I decided to take cancer with me one last time.
Cancer stays here, far away from my family.
I left cancer behind that day.
Well, that's not very nice. But thanks to Remote Smart Parking Assist, it's no problem for the all-new Hyundai Sonata. It can pull itself in and out of tight parking spots without you being in the car. The all-new Sonata. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Drive home in a new 2020 Hyundai Sonata, now starting at just $23,400. Visit your local Kansas City Hyundai dealer today.
Championship Parade, brought to you in part by Hyundai. Visit buyhyundai.com.
We are back in front of Union Station awaiting the victory rally here as the Chiefs and their fans celebrate a win in Super Bowl 54.
And if you are watching from the comfort of your home,
Good for you.
good for you. You are so smart because we have one tent, like a 5-person tent that's not very far from where we're standing. They obviously spent the night there.
But you walk around, I'm impressed with how many people are still wearing all red and bundled up, and they've been here for hours. We've seen some kids here. We've seen, obviously, adults here, but everyone seems warm and toasty, as well as they can be warm and toasty in this frigid weather, and waiting for the Kansas City Chiefs to take the stage.
Well, there's been a lot of dancing. The DJ has put on some great music for Chiefs Kingdom. There's the people in the trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please be careful.
Please be careful. It is frowned upon climbing in the trees. But yes, we have several people doing that. But there's been so much music for so many hours. People have been dancing, staying warm that way.
And we have some Chief cheerleaders up on the stage as well. Let's go to KMBC9's Karen Kornacki and Matt Evans to talk a little bit more about what a remarkable season this has been.
You know, it really has been. It's been a remarkable season. I've been watching the Chiefs since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, so to speak. And Karen, you've been covering this team for a long time. And I've got to ask you, was there ever a time when you've been covering the Kansas City Chiefs you felt as good as you felt about this team right here?
No. You could tell there was something special. Yes. We did have good teams, and then usually it was an imbalance. One side of the ball was good, the other side not so much. But I'll tell you, do we have a mic problem? I'm hearing something in our ear. We got to share a mic.
All right, there we go.
Okay, we're going to share a mic because even though my mic says it's on, apparently it's not.
Well, we'll get it. We have a teamwork here. So yeah, Karen, you were talking about the teams that we saw over the course of several years. Just take me through. You know, you said this is a special group.
A very special group. And first of all, they like each other. Second of all, the minute Patrick Mahomes showed up, he was created to be a leader on this team, and he had all the poise. He has football acumen. You know, I have been amazed to learn about Patrick Mahomes this year. I was at just about every news conference during the week with the coordinators and with Patrick, and I remember Eric Bieniemy saying he had a photograph memory. And I said to Coach Bieniemy, what do you mean exactly by that? He can remember when he played in grade school? He said, no, he has a knack for, in a game, coming to me and saying, that second play in the second quarter when the safety was over here, I think we can do this because I'm seeing it again, and he can describe it accurately, and then they go back and look on film and it's just exactly what he said. So he has this great football mind, and the game slows down for him. And I think we all remember that time when he was running along the sideline and there was the referee there, and he's looking at the referee like, are you going to call? And everything slows down for Patrick. He sees where the safety is. He sees what the corners are doing. He sees when they're shifting from one, kind of strategy to another. He's an amazing mind, an amazing young man, a gifted athlete, and what an arm. To have him as a leader, have all these guys who are so much older than him look up to him as the leader. I've never heard receivers say, Patrick, what do you want me to do? You keep the play alive until Patrick says it's dead.
And we saw that so many times this year. I mean, it's been amazing because you might think, oh no, he's getting close to getting sacked in the backfield, and then he does something with his legs, and then his arm does the rest. It's amazing to watch each and every down of Patrick Mahomes play football, and the surrounding cast around him too that Andy Reid has surrounded Mahomes with is really why we are seeing Super Bowl champions for this year, and hopefully maybe for the next several years, because this team is very, very good.
Yeah. Oh, they're Super Bowl champions, but Patrick is exceptional in every way you can think of, and he's getting better. That's the scary thing. He was the MVP of the league last year, but he was better this year, and he's going to keep getting better and keep growing and keep maturing. And if I were the rest of the league, I would be like, what do we do? There's no other Patrick Mahomes. He can do things nobody else can do. And that's why you hear the cheers from the fans when he comes down the road. That is why that porta potty, can we show that porta potty back there? That is why nobody is using it, because Patrick got off the bus He went into that porta potty, and no one has been able to use it since. It is being guarded because that is a sacred Johnny on the spot.
There's been no porta potty ever watched as close as that porta potty in Kansas City. When Patrick Mahomes said, "Stop the bus, I got to take a bathroom break." And you know what? And then after that, he stood on the ground for a while and still talked to some fans. I mean, that was pretty funny to see.
I saw people taking pictures in front of it. Who takes pictures? Who goes to a parade and takes pictures in front of a Johnny on the spot?
Because you knew Patrick Mahomes was in there.
If you knew Patrick Mahomes was in it, it was changing everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's so exciting to see him and to know that he's going to be in Kansas City for a long time. He says he doesn't want to leave Kansas City. He's embraced this city. The city has embraced him, and that is something that is very special to see. Not only as a Chiefs fan, but as a Kansas Cityan, to know that you have a special young man in Patrick Mahomes that is going to be a very, very big part of not only this team, but this city moving forward as we go through 2020 and beyond.
Now, Patrick is eligible to talk new contract.
Right.
And we have heard people say, give him what he wants.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You could be very well seen, possibly the biggest contract in NFL history, riding down that Super Bowl bus right now.
It should be. It should be the biggest contract ever, because who is better than Patrick Mahomes?
Right now, nobody. Yeah.
Exactly right. So give him what he wants. No matter what, just give him what he wants. The keys to the city, name the city after him. Patrick City's fine with me.
I don't think many people would argue with that fact, Karen. After the season he's put together, after the Super Bowl that he put together, and essentially led this team back in the fourth quarter, and led the team back in so many other games throughout the playoffs as well. You just can't ever count Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs out.
Now, Mark, if you could show the street, I want people to see. Okay, you saw Union Station. That's where everybody is. Look at how the street has cleared out. Yeah, the street crews are going to have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of garbage that's been left behind. But look how empty. It was just a half an hour ago. This place was packed. It took me a half an hour to cross the street because it was wall-to-wall people. And right now, all of these people who are all down the parade route are now at the other end by Union Station for the huge pep rally.
But there's still some excited Chiefs fans right here, Karen, as they make their way to Union Station or make their way to. They're still out here. A lot of those number 15 jerseys too.
We'll probably see more of those.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, and there is a lot to clean up here, but we did get to witness something very special in Kansas City. And boy, I'm just glad I get to be a part of it with you. One of the sports legends of this town who's covered the Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Royals for a long time, and to be able to share this moment with you and our own viewers of Channel 9 is something very, very special.
Now you know why I love him so much. He knows how to suck up really good.
Well, I grew up watching the Kansas City Royals, Kansas City Chiefs, and you know, I never thought I would see it, that we would have two victory parades within 5 years. If you would have told me that back in the 90s, I'd say, no way.
That's right. Because we had gotten used to mediocrity.
Right.
Now we're witnessing something incredibly special. And you know, that's what you've got to love about Brett Veach, who kept putting the video of Patrick Mahomes on the desk of John Dorsey and on Andy Reid's desk. Look at this guy. Look at this guy before the draft. And then to Andy Reid to take what is in him, pull it out, and bring out the best. He could be with a terrible coach, but he is with an innovative coach, a coach who knows how to develop quarterbacks. And so this combination will be better, I predict, than Belichick and Brady.
Well, and you know, if you remember back to that draft day, there were naysayers. There were people, why'd you draft Patrick Mahomes? We have Alex Smith. Why would you trade up to take Patrick Mahomes? Well, this is why right here.
All right, we're going to go to the main set because the action's about to begin.
All right, Karen Kornacki, Matt Evans, thank you very much. Kansas City, Missouri police tweeted a few minutes ago that they were starting to get a lot of reports of lost children, and so they are sharing the information once again to tell your child to go to the nearest police officer if they become separated from you. Of course, child, as they called them, reunification stations had been set up along the parade route, so hopefully those children will be reunited with their parents or guardians quite soon.
And before before you leave the area, make sure you have a picture on your phone of your child, because the police department said it's much easier for them to also look for your child if they've got a current picture. So just something you can do. I'm sure you have all morning been snapping pictures of everybody, but just something to keep in mind so everybody can go home together.
Well, things are kind of picking up here at Union Station. We've seen some of the cheerleaders come out on the stage. We saw Casey Wolf come out on the stage. Of course, Casey Wolf is dancing on the stage as we speak. So you think maybe they're getting closer and closer to kind of getting something going here at this rally.
You know what I wouldn't mind taking another look at? The presentation of the Lombardi Trophy from Sunday night, which we will see at some point.
We are going to see it again, just not right this second.
Just not right now.
Because Casey Wolf has taken over the stage. Oh, now he's taking the podium.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's awesome. We know that the parade route has started to vacate an awful lot, and that people are moving toward Union Station. And when you look at this shot, all right, forget this shot. We're going to take a look at that Lombardi Trophy ceremony on the field from Sunday night, right this minute.
What a night. What a way to end the 100th season. Clark and Norma, I know how much this trophy means to the Hunt family and your fans. What an incredible performance. We're so proud of you. You are going to take this trophy home after 50 years to your great fans. You are Super Bowl champions. Congratulations to your entire organization. Coach Reed, all your great players. Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. There you go, Norma. Give it a kick. Go ahead, Clark. Sometimes it's just hard to imagine how good this can feel, but waiting 50 years, this has to be most unbelievable feeling for you, your family, and, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs.
It sure is, Terry. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful trophy, and I can't think of a better conclusion to the 100th season of the NFL than receiving this trophy. I'm so happy for our players, coaches, and fans, and especially Andy Reid. Nobody deserves this trophy more than Andy Reid. And I want to thank the Lord for blessing our family with all these incredible people who helped us bring this championship home. To the Chiefs Kingdom, you guys are world champions once again. Woo!
It's great to see Norma Hunt up on the stage.
Yeah,
with that Lombardi Trophy. She's one of the few people who's attended every single Super Bowl. And Clark Hunt told me a story this week because I asked how his mother was doing this week, and he said, you know, she came up to me about 3 years ago and said, you know, I've been going to enough of these. I sure would like to see the Chiefs play in the Super Bowl one of these years. So he kind of took it upon himself to put a team together, the one that they have, to make it all the way. So you have
mom said so.
That's right. You got to listen to your mom.
That's absolutely right.
Important lesson.
That's right. Let's go to Kelly Ackerman and Brian Busby.
We still have some fans out here who are still here. And what's your name?
My name is Casaz Barnes, a.k.a. Fake Westbrook. Follow me on Instagram. Yeah.
What was your question then?
My question is, this is wonderful Kansas City, and it was very cold. But, this is what we come here to do, is support the Chiefs. 50 years. It's been a long, long time, but we did it, y'all.
We did it. We did it. Kelly, and you see the people, they're going down to where the action is right now. But there are some folks who I saw from Savannah. What's your name?
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yes.
And you came on a bus from Savannah from you guys?
Yes, we did. Actually, St. Joe. St. Joe.
Okay. And why did you want to make the trek? Because, usually St. Joe is a little different than Kansas City.
That's where training camp is, and we love it.
We all bleed the red.
It's Chiefs Kingdom.
And Brian's been telling you all week that it might be super, super, super cold, snowing. That didn't keep you away?
Heck no. I go to the games when they have that.
Arrowhead's colder than this.
Yeah. That's the atmosphere you like.
Yeah. I like watching them make it snow.
This is football season in Missouri. This is how we do things.
So at the beginning of the season, did you have a good feeling about it that would end at least in the playoffs once again?
Yes. Mitch Holtis told us. I go to his.
Did I hear someone say a no back there?
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, we 100% believe that they were going to make it.
Yeah. A lot of people said it didn't really seem real to them until today, though.
Yeah, it's still a shock. But when he threw it down the bed, I said, turned to my grandkids and said, we got this. Be quiet. I'm listening to Mitch on the TV, on the radio.
A lot of people do that. They listen to Mitch and they watch the TV.
We do that.
Oh, yeah. We don't say why.
We'll be nice.
And I think it feels it's finally real now that the trophy's back home.
Yeah.
So in Kansas City. So.
Did y'all get just a little teeny bit nervous in that last game?
Oh, yeah.
But we never lost faith.
We never lost faith. No.
So.
Do you see what my necklace says? Can you read it?
Believe.
Yes.
That was my little good luck charm for the Chiefs all season, so there you go.
One thing you don't know about Kelly is Kelly's very superstitious, and she started wearing that at the beginning of the season. How did it work out for you?
Sure. Well, I just had, even though sometimes you couldn't see it, I had it on. But my daughters and I all are happy. We have these little things we do every single time, and if we forget, we run back home.
Go get it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anything you guys have been doing?
I still wear the same shirt, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But do you wash it?
If you don't know, Susie,
You don't
she's
want
a cookie lady. She makes cookies for all of the players at training camp. So
Yeah,
this
I'm the
is
cookie lady.
The cookie lady.
Susie Boyer is the cookie lady.
from training camp.
Training camp and
Do some of the players have favorite flavors?
Oh yeah. Let's see. When Eric Berry was here, he liked a sugar cookie, and he'd be on the field going like. And it means he wants topping. He wants sprinkles on it. The new rookies love M&M, chocolate chip M&M. I do chocolate chunk. Chris Jones takes everything. Peanut butter, everything. I just make them all.
Okay.
Cool. I do it even after the games too.
Did you make anything special? Something for now that we're the champions?
Yeah.
No, because I was up so late, and I'm a preschool teacher, and I didn't know if I was going to get here, so I did not do any baking. And I feel bad. I'm so sorry.
But we needed your cheers. We needed your loud voice here today, so that was good enough.
That's great, because that's how they know me. They'll look at me and, yep. But Mitch Holtis knows me as Susie Bling Bling and the Taj Mahal.
Susie Bling Bling.
Yes, plus the cookie lady.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be waiting for some of those here, too, then.
Okay. Well, I'll just come down to you and just bring them.
Sounds good. So there's still some people diehard hanging on here, but I'm sure they're heading toward the big stage where you guys are. So let's throw it back to Lynn and Kelly. Oh, you're here, Kelly.
We got a little Tech 9 going on behind us.
We certainly do. Who's as big a Chiefs fan as there is?
The biggest Chiefs fan there is. He was also in attendance at the Super Bowl.
You know, one guy who's not here who would have given anything to be here is Eric Stonestreet.
Well, he had some things to do.
You know, they're in the process of producing the final two episodes of Modern Family after an amazing 11-year run, and they're actually doing a read-through today in Los Angeles on the set there at Fox Studios. So, if there was any way that Eric could have been here, I'm sure he would have been here today.
I'm sure he's with us in spirit, to be sure.
You betcha.
All right, let's go to Michael Mahoney.
Yeah.
Michael, you're a little close to World War I Memorial. How's it looking up there?
It's a spectacular view up here from the deck of the Liberty Memorial, looking down on the hill, and a cascade of people going down off this hill to look at the stage in front of Union Station where this rally is about to begin. From our vantage point up here, it looks like the people are shoulder to shoulder from basically the beginning of the general admission area all the way back to the American flag and TOW flag that is about 4/5 the way up the hill to the Liberty Memorial, and then over on across the street at Santa Fe Place might be some of the best viewing in the world. I believe Chris Ketch's penthouse is up there, and he's rented it out at an exorbitant price, I'm sure, to folks that have Chief banners and KC Arrowhead flags and all sorts of other things. And I'm sure that they're raiding Chris Ketch's stash of caviar and the expensive champagne and all the good scotch, and they're having a great party. And so Ketch will probably be very unhappy when he gets back to his palatial penthouse tonight and figures out that the refrigerator has been raided. But those folks have a spectacular view of the proceedings in front of them on the hill leading between the Liberty Memorial and Union Station, and you can see those folks there. And then as we pull out, you'll be able to see again this crowd that continues to grow. There are people that are still coming from the south up to the Liberty Memorial. They're walking around the Liberty Memorial and then down onto this hill, and then they are joining the crowd that is down there, and a crowd that is nearly shoulder to shoulder, I don't know how many rows deep, almost all the way up to that American flag and the POW flag that's 4/5 the way up the hill. And the crowd, as we said earlier, have been watching the big screen TV images of this parade as it approached Union Station down Grand Avenue, and a lot of people are still coming to this location for this rally. And I couldn't help but note that Karen Kornacki earlier was talking about maybe in a contract negotiation, if Patrick Mahomes wants the city named after him, they should do that. And I'm compelled to tell you that, you know, we already do have a St. Patrick's parade in town that I'm a little familiar with. So we're at least on that road. Not the St. Patrick guy, but a lot of people will take it that way. He's certainly a saint in Kansas City and the King's Kingdom, Chiefs Kingdom right now, no doubt about it. So that's what we've got here. People on balconies with festooned Chiefs banners at the Santa Fe Place, and thousands of people on the hill underneath the Liberty Memorial waiting for this rally to begin. The music is loud. They are breaking into the Tomahawk Chop chant at times, and they're having a wonderful time down here. And the deck here on the Liberty Memorial, which is served as sort of a giant camera riser, also has several hundred people on it that are either going down onto the hill to the rest of the rally, or they're staying up here because there is a pretty good vantage point, as you can see from this. So it's been an impressive look up here to watch this crowd grow from before dawn to this point where we're almost ready for this rally, and to hear this crowd that's beneath us roar at times and get into chants and simply cheer what they're watching on the screen on the television images of the big screens here is really impressive. It is a noise factor that we got to deal with up here. That's how loud this crowd can be at times. It's most impressive. So that's what we've got up here. And the other thing is I bet there have been 10,000 selfies taken up here of people looking at the getting a giant shot, panoramic shot of the crowd. So it's very, very impressive. And Chris Ketch, I hope everything's okay in your penthouse when you get home tonight. Back to you.
All right, Michael, thank you so much. You know, it seems like the Super Bowl win in some ways happened like 3 weeks ago. And you think about what these players have been through. I was really not even 48 hours ago, am I right? No, 72. 72, yes.
Yep, Sunday night. I was with you.
Yeah,
I was with Christmas there too. We were all there in Miami celebrating a Super Bowl victory, but that was an amazing game to watch just because what the Chiefs were able to accomplish after trailing going into the fourth quarter. They were trailing in the first game against the Houston Texans 24-0. Then the AFC Championship game against the Tennessee Titans 10-0, and able to come back and win this one. They are the comeback kids of the NFL this postseason.
The thing that I was struck by that night was in 36 games, games in his National Football League career, Patrick Mahomes has really yet to play a bad game. And if you look at what he did in the first, 3.5 quarters of Super Bowl 54, that might have been his worst game as a professional, okay? I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo outplayed him in the first half, and I didn't see that coming at all. And then all of a sudden, with about 7-8 minutes to go, this kid turns it on. And the Chiefs go on to score 3 times, and Patrick Mahomes does what Patrick Mahomes does, and here we are.
And you know, when we talked to Patrick's father on the field after the game, we asked him, what do you tell him when he gets down? And he told us he never gets down. And that has been proven again and again and again this past season.
And we see it. He's very young. He's, I believe, the youngest player to ever win an NFL MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. And we asked his father about that maturity growing up. His father, Pat Mahomes Sr., who was a Major League Baseball player. So Patrick grew up in clubhouses and saw guys like Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez and other guys that he was growing up with in the clubhouse and how they acted against some of the players that his father was playing against. But yeah, it's amazing to see his maturity, especially at this young of age for Patrick Mahomes.
And it will be thrilling to see what he will become in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years.
You know, it's something that I think has also gotten a little bit lost in this Super Bowl 54 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs is I don't know that this was possible without the improvements that were made on the defensive side of the football with Tyrann Mathieu and a healthy Frank Clark. And the kinds of changes and adjustments that were made on the defensive side of the ball. Let's face it, the defense that the Chiefs had last season, all kinds of problems. And obviously Andy Reid and Brett Veach and everybody at One Arrowhead Drive saw that changes had to be made on that side of the football. Those changes were made. And, you know, this wasn't the best defense in the National Football League, but over the last, 10 weeks of the season, this is a defense that played pretty good.
Well, ever since that loss at Tennessee, when Derrick Henry rushed for 188 yards against them, they didn't lose the rest of the way. And I think maybe only twice they allowed more than 100 yards rushing in a game. And they were holding opponents. They were stopping opponents. And Steve Spagnola, the new defensive coordinator, I mean, they got rid of Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator last year, because it had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And the season did not start great for the Chiefs on the defensive side of the ball. And with Steve Spagnola there, they said, you know, let's trust the process. And you saw guys getting their assignments down, trusting the process. They knew where they were supposed to be in the scheme of things, and things started getting better. And that game in Mexico City, when they had 4 interceptions against Phillip Rivers, you saw something like, oh my gosh, this defense is able to win games, which was great for Patrick Mahomes, because then that meant less of a burden on his shoulders going in there having to win every single game, which they were doing last year as the NFL MVP. And this year, he didn't have to do that. The defense was winning games down the stretch.
See, and I have a feeling that defense is just going to get better next season. I mean, we saw great improvement this year. Well, they're a Super Bowl champion, obviously. But I think this defense gets better next season.
Absolutely. Especially when they're more familiar with what Steve Spagnola brought to the table. He did the same thing with the New York Giants back in 2007. First year there, they started off really slow, that defensive side of the ball, and they went on and won the Super Bowl in 2007 with the New York Giants. Steve Spagnola did the same thing here in Kansas City.
Patience.
Yes.
Let's go to Karen and Matt.
You know, when you think about the Chiefs season and the postseason, there were an awful lot of plays that really excited a lot of people. And Karen Kornacki, you have one of your most favorite plays that you want to talk about.
I am so happy I get to talk about this play. I can hardly contain myself. It happened just before halftime. The Chiefs were hoping to tie up the game, and they had a 4th down, and they went into the playbook for a play from the 1948 Rose Bowl. And if we have the video, I want to show it to you because it was amazing there it is. Look at this. They line up. Now, I don't know if you saw that spin right away. They did get the first down here and then on the next play, but look at the spin. See, they added that spin. That wasn't in the Michigan playbook from 1948, but the Chiefs, they added that for, a little razzle-dazzle there. They were able to get that first down, and then the next play they were able to score a touchdown. And what I truly love about this, Andy Reid said in the news conference when he was asked about it, hey, we've got a lot of these plays from the days of Hank Stram, from the days of, I see people on the stage, so I guess I should quit talking about the excitement of that play. But I'm telling you, I hope I get to talk about it again because that play really pumped me up.
And that little spin move in front, I mean, it just kind of, you throw a little defense off.
They choreographed it. The defense going, what the heck is that? Anyway, let's throw it back to the stage because, I mean, we've got action up there.
Yeah, there's Casey Wolf.
So the clock is ticking down. You can see the drum line is on the stage now. We are just moments from the rally starting.
And it looks as if, this is one of those moments where you want this party to last as long as possible. Any sort of thought about starting early, I think, went out the window about a half hour ago. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think just allowing people to migrate toward Union Station, give them that time from the parade route to here, and we're almost there.
We mentioned Eric Stonestreet and the fact that he has to be in Los Angeles as they finish up production of Modern Family. He was on Jimmy Kimmel the other night, and it was a moment. Let's take a look.
Eric, you got some video on the field too. This is a great moment. There's Andy Reid, coach of the Chiefs, and then as Eric comes right in there, and that's words were exchanged. What did he say to you?
He said he loved me, appreciated everything I do, and I told him how much you love me and how much you appreciate me pales in comparison to how much Kansas City loves you and appreciates you. And I know his team plays for Andy Reid. Everybody loves Andy Reid. He's a great guy. And then we just did one for How About Those Chiefs?
Yes, sir! The party, I assume there was a party last night, yes?
Man.
Who distinguished himself at this party among your teammates? And you know what I mean when I say that.
Man, let's see. We have too many personalities on that team.
Mm-hmm.
You know who had the most fun and enjoyed themselves is Coach Reid.
Really?
He was the life of the party. He had Pitbull there, going crazy.
Because he said he was going to get a cheeseburger or something.
Yeah. He got to get that cheeseburger first.
So he had more than just a cheeseburger after the game. Did
you see what Coach Reid said after Pitbull? He said, man, I watched Pitbull all night, and that guy's got some endurance.
Did either of you cry yesterday?
No, I didn't. I didn't. And
You didn't?
I was asked about that, and it was kind of, just all the way around, everybody was more emotional about the AFC Championship than this one.
Interesting.
And I guess, you want to say is, getting a Lamar Hunt trophy, for him, and that's his dad's name on it.
Right.
So
yeah.
I felt like that meant more to everybody to be able to give that to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if your dad's name is on it, I'm sure it does mean a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. So I felt
Eric, did you cry at the end of the game?
Yeah, I cried at the end of the game.
Uh-huh.
I cried after the end of the game. I cried this morning in bed, looking at my girlfriend's post that she made on Instagram alone in Miami. I cried backstage right now looking at some pictures. Here's the thing, though, man, and this is just one of the guys on the Kansas City Chiefs, but him in that moment with that other player, that's what being a Chief is all about. It's class and respect of your opponent and playing with all your heart, and that's what Lamar Hunt created. That's what Clark Hunt has shepherded. But to bring this back to Kansas City, man, the Super Bowl trophy that Lamar Hunt named that Super Bowl. And this guy on his shoulders, we did it with Patrick Mahomes. He's going to cry at the parade because he's going to feel the love of Kansas City, and he's going to see what he means to this city along with other Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, you can never go anywhere ever again. You have to live in Kansas City for the whole rest of your life, where you will be fully appreciated by everyone there. Could anything make this better? I mean,
Well, I had a great day yesterday. I mean, it was a pretty incredible experience. One thing I was a little bummed out about that didn't happen, that I was with Coach Reed. I saw Coach Reed. I'd like to have a Gatorade bath at some point in my life.
You would like Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54. Today we celebrate one of the most remarkable teams in NFL history. What team would trail by 24 in a divisional playoff game and win by 20? What team would trail by 10 in the AFC Championship and win by 11? And what team would trail with 7:15 to go in a Super Bowl by 10 and win by 11? None, because no team in the 100-year history of the National Football League has ever done it. This team was resilient. This team was together. And this team was hyper-focused to win a championship for all of you. We also celebrate leadership today at many levels, including our servant leadership. It was right before the start of training camp. I was asked to MC a big rally in Springfield, Missouri, which is a hotbed of Chiefs Kingdom passion. And out in the crowd, I thought in the second row looked familiar, and it was the governor, Mike Parson of the great state of Missouri, who said, "Let's go, Mitch, we're going to do this." Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the governor of the great state of Missouri, Mike Parson.
I don't know whether I'm here as a governor today or as part of the kingdom as a fan for 50 long years. How about them Super Bowl Chiefs? Man, I've been a fan forever, and I want to give a shout out to this morning to the people that sat in the third level of Arrowhead where we sat. I'll shout out to you guys. Not too many years ago, most of you Chief fans like me, we were 2-14. 2-14. Clark Hunt made one of the most important decisions for this kingdom when we were 2-14. And let me tell you what that was. People said the dynasty started in Miami. I tell you it didn't. It started when Clark Hunt hired the best dang coach in the NFL and brought Andy Reid. That's the beginning. Now let me tell you, one of the luckiest players that will be playing in the NFL next year, and it will be Frank Clark. Frank Clark will get to do something nobody else in the NFL gets to do next year. None. He'll get to do something his teammates will not get to do. And let me tell you what that is. He will run down out of the stadium in Tampa Bay at the 55th Super Bowl wearing number 55. It is an honor and privilege to represent the great state of Missouri, the show me state, and who did a better job this year than showing us the world champion, Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
want to bring up another world champion right now because in 1985, he helped lead our Kansas City Royals to a world championship. His number's retired at the K, and now one of our servant leaders, please welcome Jackson County, Missouri Administrator Frank White.
Chiefs, how about it? I'm really excited to be able to represent Jackson County. Jackson County has been really fortunate to have two franchises that have been very successful here in Kansas City. I've seen 2 Super Bowl championships. I've seen 2 World Series championships. It can't get any better than that. So today, on behalf of the Jackson County administration, the Jackson County legislature, we want to congratulate the Chiefs on winning the Super Bowl. It has been said that it takes just a little bit more to be a champion. And the Chiefs, administration, the Hunt family, Andy Reid, his coaching staff, the players, but most of all, you fans gave us that little bit more, and the Chiefs were able to come in with a Super Bowl championship this year. So I just want to reach out to Chiefs Kingdom and say thank you for your support of the Chiefs, the Royals, all of our franchises, because our fans love our sports teams. Today, I want to proclaim a proclamation to the Chiefs on behalf of the administration, on behalf of our county legislature, by the powers vested in me by the constitutional homeroom charter of Jackson County, Missouri. I, Frank White Jr., proclaim this day, February the 5th, 2020, as Kansas City Chiefs Day in Jackson County. Thank you. Thank you. So fans, the Chiefs are the champions. Thank you.
Our team was awesome because it had a great sense of timing. This next person has an awesome sense of timing when he became mayor of Kansas City, Missouri just a couple months ago. Now, somewhere out there is Sly James with a cool bow tie. And Sly, we appreciate all your work. But now, please welcome a young man who leads us into an unprecedented, in my opinion, next decade for our city. Please welcome the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri, Quentin Lucas.
All right, y'all. First of all, let's get loud. Let's get loud. Let everybody hear what's going on. Let's get loud, Chiefs fans. Let's get loud. So we've got in Kansas City, we've got the greatest city in the world. Greatest city in the world. And now we have the greatest team in the world. Greatest team in the world. So I'm going to ask y'all 2 favors. Favor number 1. You may remember that Royals parade a few years back where they had the pictures of the sea of blue. We want a sea of red. So if you're wearing a black coat and you got a jersey on underneath, get your red out. Get your red out. And make sure that the helicopter behind us can see all of the red here in this red sea that is the Chiefs Kingdom. All right. So I'm going to count to 5, and at 5, pose for a picture with your red out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you, Kansas City. They are seeing how red we are. And now, you know, Mitch likes to say touchdown Kansas City. Let's give Mitch another round of applause because the players are coming out, the owners. Let's get loud again and let's go Chiefs!
Thank you, Mayor Lucas. You know touchdowns in the Chiefs Kingdom are different than any of the other 31 teams in this league because we taste the sweet nectar of the end zone. Before we have the national anthem, just say it with me one time. When we get a touchdown, let it belt it out that they will hear us from coast to coast and around the world on 3. 1, 2, 3, touchdown! Kansas City! Ladies and gentlemen, with our national anthem, please welcome one of our own from the Chiefs Kingdom, Miss Simone Sparks.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we've hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
This is Super Bowl 54. Mahomes keeps it. He dives right side. Touchdown! Kansas City!
Garoppolo able to stay upright. Breland is there for Kansas City.
Mahomes stepping up. He's throwing long downfield for Tyreek Hill. Got it at the 20-yard line. They move to the right side. They throw back to the end zone. Touchdown! Travis Kelce. Chiefs have life. Throw right side. Caught by Williams at the right pylon. Touchdown! Kansas City. Andy Reid dials up a brilliant play. Garoppolo in the pocket. He's being hit. He's being wrapped up. It'll go as a sack. Frank the Shark Clark. Handoff. Damian Williams trying to get to the edge. Breaks a tackle. 35-30. Damian Williams runs to immortality and will be remembered forever in the Chiefs Kingdom. Here comes Suggs on the rush. They throw it deep middle, and the pass will be intercepted. It's intercepted. Kansas City, you've got a champion. Kendall Fuller seals the deal. The game is over, and the Chiefs Kingdom has firmly planted its flag on top of football's highest summit. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54. And now, please welcome to the stage the best ownership family in all of professional sports. Chairman and CEO Clark Hunt and the Hunt family. It was within minutes, decisive moves by Clark Hunt in the first hours of the year 2013, where 7 teams were lined up to try to get Andy Reid. And in a matter of just hours, a decisive, calculated move changed history of the Chiefs' kingdom forever and changed history of the National Football League. Ladies and gentlemen, give a gigantic world champion Chiefs Kingdom cheer to the chairman and CEO of the Kansas City Chiefs, Clark Hunt, and the Lombardi Trophy.
All right, Chiefs Kingdom, how does it feel to be world champions? It's amazing to see all of Kansas City here this afternoon. That parade is something I will never forget. To share that joy together was one of the highlights of my life. At our first meeting as a team at training camp in St. Joe this year, I talked to the team about our goals. It started with going back to the AFC Championship game and winning that trophy that has my dad's name on it. And we brought it home. After that, I told them that we were going to Miami and we were going to win another Lombardi Trophy and bring it back to Kansas City. And guess what, Chiefs Kingdom? We brought it home. All year long, people spoke of the Chiefs as a team of destiny. 50 years after our first Super Bowl win, the 60th anniversary of the founding of the American Football League, the 100th season of the NFL. While that may be true, what set this group apart is how they came together as a team. These men believed in each other, they had each other's back, and most of all, they played for each other. That's the definition of a championship team, and in the end, they did prove that they were a team of destiny. I'm so glad that we have so many of our greats from the Super Bowl IV team here with us today to celebrate. 50 years ago, after the Chiefs defeated the Vikings, 13 of those players had to attend the AFL All-Star Game and did not have an opportunity to ride in the parade. 9 of those men are still with us, and all of them were invited to ride in the parade today. We're excited to have them here with us and to celebrate this new group of champions. Let's give the Super Bowl IV team a round of applause. None of this is possible with an outstanding team of people coming together for a common goal. As I said during our trophy presentation Sunday, our family is blessed to work with such a great team of people led by Mark Donovan, Brett Veach, and Andy Reid. A lot of people believe this journey started 7 years ago with the hiring of Andy Reid, but it really started before that, when Mark Donovan joined our organization. Mark has been the steady force that has helped make the Chiefs a model franchise in the National Football League. He was instrumental in bringing Andy Reid and in turn Brett Veach to Kansas City, and he has done a phenomenal job of preparing us for success. Let's give it up for Mark. Just as Mark has done an outstanding job on the business side, Brett Veach helped build a world championship team. He was the driving force in acquiring some of the big-time leaders and playmakers on our roster. Guys like Anthony Hitchens, Damian Williams, Frank Clark, Tyrann Mathieu, and some kid from East Texas named Patrick Mahomes. Let's give it up for Brett. The last part of the leadership team is the guy we call Big Red. Over the last 7 seasons, Andy Reid has made the Chiefs one of the best teams in football, and I can't say enough about him, both as a coach and, more importantly, as a person. He's a man of integrity, a tremendous teacher, a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, and after Sunday, Big Red is a world champion. Let's give it up for Andy Reid. Andy. Finally, and most importantly, I want to close about talking about the best part of our team, the Chiefs Kingdom. It's been a long journey, too long if you ask me, but sometimes when the journey is hard, the destination is that much sweeter. Chiefs Kingdom was there through it all. Rain or shine, in the heat, in the snow, it didn't matter. You always had our backs. It was so special to see the incredible joy and excitement throughout the kingdom all season, especially in the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. Once we got to Miami, the Sea of Red took over. Chiefs Kingdom turned Hard Rock Stadium into Arrowhead South. It was an incredible environment and one that none of us will ever forget. So one time, right here, let's give it up for the Chiefs Kingdom. A few months before he passed away, my dad was asked to describe the best day of his life, and I want to read what he wrote. My best day was January 12th, 1970, the day after the Chiefs won Super Bowl IV. It specifically relates to the victory parade and celebration through the downtown area and on to Liberty Memorial in Kansas City. Thousands of fans had congregated to be part of the event. The Chiefs winning the game the day before was fun, but seeing the reactions of the fans was the icing on the cake for my best day. My dad loved the Chiefs Kingdom, and I'm honored that he shared his love with us. So Chiefs Kingdom, thank you for giving my dad and I some of the best days of our lives. We love you.
There had to be hope. The hope that lived in all of you, because Clark referenced it, Governor Parson referenced it, but somebody had to hold the rope and give us hope. At the end of 2012, we were at the bottom of the league. No AFC wins, 2-14. And our president said, hang in there, we're going to figure this out. And man, did we figure this out. He talked about preparing to win, and he said, we'll get this done. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mark Donovan.
How are we doing, Kingdom? All right, so let me first say thank you to our governor, to our mayor, to county executive, and especially the Sports Commission for their support all year long, but especially in making today a reality. Thank you for all the hard work, guys. I'd like to publicly, from this stage right now, recognize our chief staff. These men and women work 24/7, 365 days a year to deliver the best fan experience in sports. Thank you, guys. Our partners, many of you have been with us since the very beginning. Some of you joined us recently. Many of you joined us when we were 2-14 or 4-12. And in those days, you bought into a vision, and you helped us execute that vision. You guys are part of the family. Enjoy this. And when speaking of family, I want to take a second to just thank the Hunt family. Consistently, they're referred to as the best ownership group in sports. And I would tell you this, they're special people. Their commitment to the kingdom, their commitment to our fans, their commitment to this city is unmatched. And I want to speak on behalf of all of us when I say thank you for the opportunity for every player, coach, and executive, and every fan to live a dream. Because today we live a dream. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to end with this. To Andy, to Brett, to Clark, I love you guys. We've been through a lot together. And we were talking this week and the week before about everything we had to do to get ready for Super Bowl. And I reckon back to 2013 when Andy and I sat in our office and we said, if the four of us just do our jobs, we can have a lasting impact on this community. We can change lives and make Kansas City a better place to live. Well, for the four of us, fellas, we did it.
Okay, we got to get fired up, people. We got to get this rolling. We got over 1 million people that watch this parade that are here today. We got to let the entire world know that its newest favorite team is the Super Bowl 54 champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go. Chiefs Kingdom, you're a champion. And one young man who has worked his butt off to make this happen was with Coach Reed in Philadelphia and came with Coach in 2013 in those first days of January. And he has done a phenomenal job of building our team, developing players that were here, drafting new players, and finding the right free agents. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for General Manager Brett Veach.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to keep this short and sweet because let's be real, we all came out here to hear Travis Kelce's speech, right? That's why we're here. But real quick, I do want to say it's an honor and privilege to work for a resilient owner in Clark Hunt and the Hunt family, a resilient president in Mark Donovan. And how about this team? You want to talk about resilient, right? Down 24 against Houston, down 10 versus Tennessee, and down 10 in the Super Bowl. It was no big deal. But I will say this, out of all the people who are resilient, the most resilient people are the Chief Kingdom, right? Waited 50 years for this, and you guys deserve it. Every year, every weekend, week out, you guys fill that stadium, and you guys give us the energy and drive we need to succeed. And the crazy thing is, you guys all came out here to celebrate us, but the reality of it is, we're out here to celebrate you guys, right? So thank you very much. Where's Andy? Where's Coach?
All right. Very shortly, I'm going to have the privilege to let you give a cheer for your world champions. But now, another big cheer as we clear the stage for 2 reasons. Please, again, acknowledge the terrific leadership we have from the Hunt family, who work very hard for all of you. And secondly, bring out the best cheer squad in the National Football League, your Kansas City Chiefs cheerleaders. And now, an unforgettable team. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you en masse the 60th team to represent our franchise, our second world champion, and the Super Bowl 54 champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Bring him up on stage. Bring him out. Bring him out. Give it up again, ladies and gentlemen. Let them know you appreciate them, our Kansas City Chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your world champion, Kansas City Chiefs. All right. We're going to back up just a little bit, fellas. We're going to back up just a little bit because you've wanted it, and now you're going to get it. Because those early days of January 2013, 7 teams wanted Andrew Walter Reed. And I'll never forget the call I got from Mark Donovan saying he's coming. And I'm thinking everything's going to change for the better. And that's when he told the folks coming with him, pack your bags, we're going to Kansas City, and we're going to win. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for future Hall of Fame coach Andy Reid.
Hey, hey, Kansas City, baby. We love you. How about a hand for these guys right here, huh? Hey, let's give them a little bit of that. How about the Chiefs on 3? 1, 2, 3. How about those Chiefs? Hey, hey. All right, so listen, we appreciate everything that you did for us. The support's been phenomenal. This parade is second to none, man. It's the best in the NFL right here. You should be proud of yourselves. So listen, one more thing is next year we're coming right back here. One more time, baby. One more time. All right, Mitch.
All right, you can start the chant for our next contributor. MVP, 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 MVP. Ladies and gentlemen, the MVP of Super Bowl 54, Patrick Mahomes.
Y'all gonna have to stay with me. My voice is already almost gone, and y'all know I don't have too much already. When I became the starter for Kansas City, the first thing I wanted to do was bring the Lombardi Hunt Trophy back to Kansas City, back to this organization. And the second most important thing I wanted to do was get the Lombardi Trophy for the greatest coach of all time, Andy Reid, baby. This season, the adversity we deal with the injuries, I mean, my knee was in the side of my leg, but we still went back, and we won the Super Bowl. We the champs, baby. Hey, credit to my teammates. We did this thing. And I'm going to leave the best for my boy Travis Kelce, who's going last. Love y'all. Thank you.
All right. Our next contributor helped turn our defense into the best defense in the NFL in the last half of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember the first day he got off the plane, and I said, the honey badger belongs here. Tyrann Mathieu, the honey badger.
Hey, you know, I'm so happy to be here in Kansas City. You know, I'm so happy to share the stage with my teammates. You know, I truly feel like, you know, when I came to Kansas City, you know, each and every last one of these guys on the stage, you know, really gave me some hope, some encouragement, some confidence to really go out there, play fearless, you know, be who I am. my coaches allowed me to be who I am, and so I can't really get none of the credit. I got to give credit to all my guys. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody in Kansas City. I want to send a big shout out, to all my coaches, Coach Spags, Coach Merritt, Coach Madison, Coach Daly, Coach House, Brendan Terry Braden, Connor, everybody, man. I appreciate all them boys. Thank y'all.
Our next contributor, hey, Philly, you don't even have the best Kelsey. We got it. The best tight end in the National Football League. You ready for this? Travis Kelce.
Can you dig it? I just want to say I love y'all. I love this team. Woo! I'm wearing about half the beers I've been trying to drink, baby. It's been a long time coming, because what did we do? We had to fight for our right to party! I don't know if you see this belt, but man, this belt got something on it. It's got the heavyweight champions of the world, baby. The heavyweight champions of the world. That memorial up there, I see everybody up there in that memorial. Don't nobody know we represent and honor every single veteran that went to war for us in World War I. What's good? What's good right here in the heart of America? Right here in the heart of America. 21 years. How about that? I'm going to walk this walk. How about 21 years? Y'all know what that means? Everybody here is thinking, oh, that's when I can, legally get a drink. Yeah. No, 21 years. That's how long it's just been turning for my guy, Andy Reid. It's just been turning and turning and turning. And what we do, we unleash a can of whoop-ass for everybody. 24-0. I ain't trying to hear it. Down 10. I ain't trying to hear it. Fourth quarter, 6 and whatever left on the clock. Down 10. We got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, baby. How about Sammy Watkins? Woo! How about Damian Williams? Woo! How about my dog, 5'5", and he ain't offsides? Motherfucker, go for them. Stop. What's good? This is the most beautiful scene I've ever witnessed in my life. I love this city to death. I promise you, from here to the end, I cherish every moment with y'all. And I promise you, everybody here feels the exact same way. I talked to El Presidente, Mark Donovan. He made sure it was okay with the run. The Clark family, everybody involved. Because of this season, because of y'all. Every single touchdown, every single point we score at Arrowhead is going to end with the anthem. And y'all got to help me say it right here one last time for 2019, 2020 World Champions. You got to fight for your right to party. Believe it. I love y'all.
We're going to make some room here, fellas. Back up. Back up. We're going to make some room, fellas. Because 3 things. Chiefs Kingdom. Chiefs Kingdom, stay hungry. Chiefs Kingdom, stay humble. And Chiefs Kingdom, get ready to do this again real soon.
I got one thing to say. Let him give it. I got one thing to motherfucking say.
Let him go. One more contributor, and then
let me go.
For a real quick comment, the fastest player in the NFL, the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill.
Hey, let me talk real quick, man. I got one thing to say. Can't nobody guard nobody on this offense, man. Can't nobody guard nobody on this offense, man. I mean that, man. Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, man, thank y'all. Y'all been real special all freaking year, man. Y'all, hey, the amount of respect, man, the amount of love y'all give us, man, is tremendous, man, because that what makes us go out there and ball out each and every day, man. Because guess what? Hey, y'all go ahead and get y'all tickets because y'all going to be in the same spot next year, all right? All right? All right? Okay? Hey, so I don't want to hear, I can't get off work. I can't get out of school. I don't want to hear, oh, my boss talking like, we can't get off. No, I don't want to hear that. Go ahead and plan for it because we grinding each and every day. We got the best running back. We got the MVP quarterback. We got Swagger Kelsey. We got the Honey Badger. We got Frank the Tank, Black Elvis. We got all of that. And most importantly, man, we got Andy he's next. Yeah, hey, that's all I got to say, man. Hey, Cheetah out, man. I love y'all, man.
All right, back up, fellas. Back up, fellas, because we flip it right now. We celebrate this team, and we get ready for next year. A special person to beat the drum today. As we close the event, back up, fellas. Big Red, Andy Reid to beat the drum. Coach is on the drum. You Chiefs Kingdom, you are a champion.
You gotta fight for your right to party. You gotta fight for your right to party. This house, if that's the clothes, they got no way.
stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying, loot is back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Ludiac. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving.
Let's talk about being back here a year from now. The Super Bowl is going to be in Tampa next season. There will probably be some changes in terms of personnel, correct?
There will be changes, but you're going to have Tyrann Mathieu, the leader on defense, and Patrick Mahomes, the leader on the offense. They're going to be back. You have Steve Spagnola, the defensive coordinator, coming back, and the guys knowing his system. You have Travis Kelce, you have Tyreek Hill, you have Frank Clark, you have some of the bigger names. Of course, we're not sure exactly what's going to happen with Chris Jones, but there are players on the team who are going to be coming up and may not be a part of the squad. But one thing you've learned ever since Brett Veach, when he was before he was general manager, he was the one of the guys saying Mahomes is our quarterback, and they got him. And Brett Veach has made moves that have improved this team over the past 3 years, ever since he took over. So you have to think that if he's on that course of more success, if there are changes down the road, that he is going to be capable of bringing in the guys necessary to get back to Tampa next year to win another Super Bowl.
And while there continues to be discussions with Patrick Mahomes and his people about a long-term contract, the fact remains the Chiefs still have control of Patrick Mahomes for a while.
Absolutely, and then that's probably the biggest thing. And we were talking about this before. How do you negotiate a contract when you're on the other side of the table with Patrick Mahomes sitting on the other side, who's won the NFL MVP and the youngest player to ever win the NFL MVP and the Super Bowl MVP?
Well, and not to mention,
you don't have much bargaining on your side of the table.
And he has
all the leverage.
He's publicly said, leading up to the Super Bowl, Kansas City is my home. This is where I want to stay. So, boy, have him stay.
You wonder if you're Patrick Mahomes, if maybe your bargaining power may never be as high as it is right now. So you wonder how much motivation there may be on Patrick Mahomes' side to want to do a deal now as opposed to waiting a year or 2 years to get that done. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to get paid, and he may end up, correct me if I'm wrong, he may become the highest paid player in the National Football League.
He should. I mean, there are talks of $200 million, the first $200 million guy in the NFL. And, you know, I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that, especially, I mean, you talk about, just the marketing aside, but from, like, where he is and how much, I mean, even head coach Andy Reid says there's room for improvement, and he has yet to hit the peak. And so, as Chiefs Kingdom, you almost get excited because we haven't seen his peak yet. There's more, and like, oh my goodness. So I think that's great about the future for Kansas City and the Chiefs. And when you see what these guys have done, from Clark Hunt to Mark Donovan, to bringing in Andy Reid, bringing in Brett Veach, and then making the draft for Patrick Mahomes, and every other thing. And you and I talked about with Brett Veach, how Kansas City was a market where they didn't return the general manager's phone calls and it went straight to voicemail. But now when he's picking up the phone and talking to free agents, this is a destination. And even Terrell Suggs, who was on waivers, made it clear that the only team he was going to play for was the Baltimore Ravens. Until Andy Reid called him and said, "You come here, we're going to win a Super Bowl." And Terrell Suggs, "Yep, I'm going to come here and win a Super Bowl with you guys."
And
it's great to see these guys having so much fun.
I know, it is.
So great to see them having fun.
You know who else had a ball today? Mitch Holthus.
He did. I mean, he just...
I can't wait. I would love to be a bug on the wall the moment Mitch gets his ring.
I know.
That's going to be pretty cool.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, if you just look at the stage right now, you can see these guys love being around each other. And Karen Kornacki talked about how the atmosphere in the locker room was fun throughout the season. People wanted to come to work. They wanted to be around each other, and I think that's evident even on the stage today. Let's go to Johnny Rollins up in the air. Johnny.
Yeah, how cool is it that look at all the players still on the stage down there, and boy, they are soaking this up. I'm sure this is one of those things where they just don't want to let it go. They want to absorb all of it that they can and just enjoy this unbelievable celebration. And what a celebration it was. Several 100,000 people here, now all trying to file away from Union Station, and still a ton of folks just hanging around here. But boy, we're seeing a lot of the roads really jammed up. Over to the right, you're going to see pretty much Main Street is all civilians, all people down there. And Pershing on over to Broadway, same story. We'll bring that into view, and you can see that is just full of people right now. Now, not unlike what happened at the World Series celebration, we saw a lot of people parking in areas where, well, you're not supposed to park. You can see right along here. They did have some through lanes, at least this time. World Series, I remember they were just parking. Folks were getting stuck in traffic and just parking them, turning them off, getting out of the car, and going to the celebration. So now it's a matter of getting a few 100,000 people out of here. Right now, everything seems to be very orderly, and again, still a lot of folks hanging around, and that would include the players on the stage right now, as we see them down there still hanging around and enjoying all of this. What I'm trying to figure out, though, you all saw that confetti being shot up in the air. I'm trying to figure out how that's gotten about 700 feet in the air here, and it's floating by us in News Chopper 9 right now. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Yeah, this party's going to go on for quite a while.
Yeah. I just feel like going up there and joining them. I mean, they're having so much fun.
And Johnny is right. I mean, people are moving out at an orderly pace, let's put it. But this place is going to probably clear out maybe a little bit sooner than perhaps we'd have thought. Even as we look to the south, up on the Liberty Memorial, as I say, things are beginning to clear out. I wonder if this wouldn't be a bad time to head up to KNBC Night's Michael Mahoney, who has probably a better look, certainly as he looks north from the World War I Museum. Michael?
Yeah, Chris, actually, the crowd started to disperse shortly after Mahomes made his speech. and then it really accelerated sort of from that there forward. I'm with a gentleman right now. Tell me your name.
My name's Romy.
Romy what?
Romy Logan.
Okay. So what was your favorite part?
The whole thing. I mean, it started Sunday and it just hasn't stopped, man. I mean, there's so many fans that can't be here with us today. I lost my grandpa on Saturday. This is the only thing that I could think of, that it takes the edge off of that. You know what I'm saying? Just to be here with the greatest fans in the world.
Absolutely. And where were you to watch this rally? Up here?
About down there in the middle. We want to be down in there so we can get a good view of everybody. Just right there in the middle of the Chiefs Kingdom, baby.
Tell my folks at home what it was like to be in the middle of that.
Nothing like it. We're going to have to do it again next year. It's unbelievable. Words can't describe how it feels. So definitely next year when we get a chance to do it, we're going to do it.
Okay, so when did you start to try to get down here today? Describe your day to me.
I got up pretty early, probably about 6. Had some breakfast, some coffee. Probably about 7:30, we started working our way down.
And here you are. Great day.
Down here.
All right, come on. Come on over here. Somebody else. Just a second. Thank you, Roman, very much. Ladies, can we talk to you? You're live on Channel 9 for right now. For a second. Are you on the phone?
Yeah.
Who are we talking to?
My cousin. My cousin.
What's her cousin? What's her name?
Jenny.
Is she watching Channel 9 right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how are we doing?
Good.
All right. Come on over here. What was your favorite part of the day?
I don't know, just being here.
How about you?
Yeah, being here.
What'd you think of what Mahomes said?
It was cool.
Did you hear it up here?
We were actually down a little closer.
Okay, and I just talked to a gentleman about that. Tell me about what it was like to be in the middle of that crowd.
Oh, it was crazy.
How about you?
It was nuts. It was nuts.
What was nuts about it?
All the people and how excited we were for it.
Have you ever been in a crowd this size?
No. Never.
Do it again?
Probably not.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, here. Send your love to your cousin or anything like that. So thank you very much for stopping by. They're fine. Again, as you can see behind me right now, this deck is clearing out substantially. If we go off a little bit here, I can't go too awful far because of the camera range. You can see right now that people are filing out, and this is a look south down on the mall of the Liberty Memorial. They actually had a set of speakers down there, and there were people around that, and I believe that there was a big screen there. I can't really see it from this location, where folks were watching it up here. And as Johnny mentioned just a few moments ago, we are getting a flurry now of confetti. These red and gold pieces of confetti that were floating up 700 feet for Johnny Rollins also peppered the business of this deck right here, which is the deck of the Liberty Memorial. And we've got confetti here. They're now breaking down the press and media order area here as things are thinning out. You can take a look down here. This has been our view the entire time. This has really sort of cleared out in the last few moments, although there are a lot of folks still down by on Pershing at the bottom of the hill here. There were thousands of people here, very, very enthusiastic. I thought the biggest crowd noise of all was clearly when they introduced Patrick Mahomes. And then the other two things that, from this perspective, were very, very interesting to watch were two things. Number one, when the entire crowd turned around for this panoramic picture that they took, they were all looking up here, and after seeing everybody's the back of their heads for hours, it was nice to see a few faces. And then, of course, the other thing that was impressive here was a lot of folks, when this started, they played the Star Spangled Banner, and they all turned around and they looked at the American flag that is 3/4 up the hill here towards the Liberty Memorial, and lots of people with their hands over their hearts and facing the flag during the playing of the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. And I can see a guy down on the lawn here still rocking and rolling. to the music that continues to be played on the loudspeakers here. This crowd really has started to peel out, obviously, as you can see here. And as we said earlier, after Patrick Mahomes' speech in particular, people did start to drift off somewhat. And now, as you can see, this big hill that was crowded with people has now largely vacated, and people are making their way out and home. And as I said, the big questions here today were, how about those Chiefs? How big is this crowd? And does anybody remember where we parked? So that is now the question of the day is, where did we park and how long is it going to take us to get there? That's it from up here on Liberty Memorial's deck right now. It has been a spectacular place to watch this. And now this crowd that was here has moved off the hill, and they are heading out after a day that I think Kansas City is going to remember for an awful, awful long time, because this was a special day this city has waited for years, clearly. And the people that were here were warmed by the Super Bowl victory and made it through the weather. Kansas City's been pretty has been a very classy place today. Let's send it back down to you. This is Michael Mahoney reporting on the deck of the Liberty Memorial.
Michael, thank you very much. And
yeah, where did I leave that car?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm impressed because everybody seriously has left in a fashionable, patient way because they're looking for their car.
You know what? It's a pretty typical Kansas City reaction. The whole day has been, it's kind of who we are,
It's pretty perfect.
Yeah, we you know what? We celebrate big moments like this. And of course, we all remember 2015. We all remember 1985. Some of us even remember 1970. But this is kind of what we do. We don't tear things apart. We don't loot or destroy or
we climb
stuff
trees.
Like that. Yeah, we might fall out of a tree now and then.
Well, a lot of them successfully climbed them and got back down successfully,
but
too.
We're all Paul Rudd nice.
Yes, that's right.
I see Paul Rudd, the actor, up on the stage there taking some selfies with some of the players, the family members, and, of course, one of the many celebrities in Kansas City that always has been a Chiefs fan, embracing the team and embracing the community, and the community seems to embrace him and the Chiefs right back.
You know what I love seeing, though, is the people are leaving, and the Chiefs players are still up on the stage. They're still savoring every last second of this unbelievable, wonderful ride that they've taken Kansas City on.
Well, it's an incredible commitment, and this is talent, this is hard work, this is certainly a lot of luck, especially as we talked earlier about the amount of the injuries that key personnel on this football team suffered throughout the season, and to persevere and to get through all of that to where we are today. I mean, it really is. It's nothing short of amazing.
It's amazing because of what happened last year and going in and losing that heartbreaking loss to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And then the offseason, these guys really had a mission that they knew that they had the talent. They had the desire. They just need that, what you talked about, that extra something, whatever it was, to get them there. And they were battle tested. And they got through this season. They went through injuries. And they got to the point where they were battle tested, and they knew that they could win this game.
Let's go to Kelly Ackerman and Brian Busby.
Hey, I guess we're on. It's so loud here. And actually, we had like 5 people next to Kelly and I think everybody just wants to wait for the crowd to die down. was talking about the thousands of people, and we have a few of them right here.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about how much this championship means to the fans, how much this parade means to the fans. Obviously, we're surrounded by a whole bunch of them right now, but one in particular, we met Tansy. He has a little experience with this. He has cheered for the Chiefs to the first Super Bowl, and the first Tansy. He has a little experience with this. He has cheered for the Chiefs to the first Super Bowl, and the first Super Bowl, and now the 54th Super Bowl.